There it is. Let's see. Chris should be in here shortly. But I figured since we're already running a little bit late, I would go ahead and get it started off. Man, my audio better. You guys hear me okay? All right. Say, oh no, it's that time again. Oh, wait for it. I forgot. Sorry, I'm just reading some of y'all comments real quick till Chris gets in here. Might send him a little healthy reminder. Or he could just be having computer difficulties, which that is not an unusual thing to have in this space. There my guy is. There he is. Yep, technical difficulties like I figured.
Yeah, I had to like rebuild the computer from scratch.
Oh, I understand that. Damn it. I gotta fix my audio.
What's good, everybody? How's everybody out there? How's everybody doing?
There we go. That's better. Now I can hear and don't just have earmuffs on. Let's see. I see Jira's out there, Janice.
Okay, that's what's up.
Ruby, Oz, Miguel. And I'm sure the Rock fan will kind of come along.
To the people on Rockfin, what's up to y'all too?
So welcome back, sir. Let everybody know how tournament play went. Chris H in the building.
Yeah, I mean, we did good, man. Yeah, we did good. We didn't, we got another one this weekend. Last week was busy. We didn't win last week. This week we're in the semis starting tomorrow, so fingers crossed.
Most definitely. It's been it's kind of crazy. It's well, good luck. I mean, I think y'all do all right. If as long as you put Marcus on the bench a little bit more, limit his minutes, y'all might do better. you got to give him that Kai Sanat treatment.
I know, right? Give him like 3 minutes.
There you go, and I think that might help out. Let's see.
Oh, Marcus, what's the market out there look like? The real estate market. What it look like
out here? Ew. Yeah. You don't want no part of this real estate market. I mean, there's people like say for instance, if you bought a house say 20 years ago, 25 years ago, that house is worth close to 10 times more. So just putting that into numbers, for people, say you bought a house for about 100, that house is going for 900,000 to $1 million now. So that's how it is. And even if you bought a house, say 2008, during that second housing crash, I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. He bought his house at like 700,000, 800,000. His house now is like 1.4, 1.5 million.
Yeah, it's an increase. The only problem is that you subtract whatever, when you go to sell, right? You subtract whatever you owe if you do have a mortgage, right? And whatever other things you have to pay off. The proceeds in this market, you would think, I know people who are looking to buy in like the $800,000, $900,000 range. They can't find anything that they like really find like good enough for them. It's wild to be in that price point and have that issue. But I really wanted to know, like, because I haven't looked. I was talking about in terms of like sales. Is the volume, is it moving? Is it on hold?
Oh no, it's always somebody. The only places which have trouble selling are unusual properties. There's like this mansion in Beverly Hills that they haven't been able to sell that thing for like 7, 8 years.
Okay, yeah, some of the crazy ones, the ones that's like $100 something million and all that other shit.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
this one is like I want to say like 75 million, and it has like foundation issues.
Mm. Yeah,
So
man.
you're not trying to pay all that kind of money for a house you're gonna have to put another probably 50 million into.
Yeah, you're not. Here, because Florida's a little different because everybody at some point is always trying to move here, right? One way or the other.
Same here.
So it's weird, but it's still really, you know, the middle class is pretty much priced out of this shit.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any children, dependents, anything, you either just making it, you struggling, or you running behind, or you just at sea level, so to speak. Um, I've come across, I'm in the industry, so I see a lot of things, and I just don't see where the correction will come from.
Shit, Street says that's pocket change for me. I wish that was pocket change for me. I wish. Hey Sarah,
Oh,
good to see you in here. Streets in the house. And everybody else as you guys come in. It's kind of interesting that you mentioned the real estate and housing thing because um recently we've just had gotten a new mayor who, well, she's not new to most people. She's been in politics for a while. I can't believe I'm blanking on her name, but whatever. Somebody out here in the Cali area that y'all can remind me who our mayor is. I might need to look it up. Yeah, Sarah. Who's our mayor again? Um, um, but out here in LA, and right now, this is something kind of surprising news that I
it's
saw.
not Karen Bass.
Bass, yes,
Is it
yes,
Karen
yes.
Bass?
Karen
Is
Bass,
it
Karen
Karen
Bass.
Bass?
Yes, thank you, Altrus. She's running, and so one of her big pledges is to try to do more affordable living and to help with the homelessness issue. Which I don't know. I mean, it's too many big money developers out here that I don't see them like I don't see them like setting anything up that's going to be for more affordable living. More than likely, you're going to be living out in BFE or just hope to get in on a deal from somebody, but it's slim pickings. But that made me think about bringing up the politicians. Something interesting that I kind of noticed that it's not getting nearly as much attention that I thought it would get, but we're seeing it. I see it all day long, all the anti Katie Porter ads. And so Adam Schiff in a recent poll is actually in trouble for his Senate seat. I mean, wait a minute, he's not in the Senate seat. He's not in the Senate, but he's running for Senate. And a lot of people thought that Adam Schiff would be. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Am I blanking? Is he in the Senate already, or is he just a House member? Let's see.
I thought
Is
he was
Adam
a member of
Schiff?
the House, right?
Let me double check. Oh, he's still a representative. It shows you how much I've been paying. That's right. They are running for
Yeah, he's
the
a
Senate
health
seat
rep.
that's been vacated by Feinstein. Yo,
Okay,
Cuzzo in the
Cuzzo, I
building. What's
see.
up, Cuz? So that's what it is. They're running for Feinstein's spot, and everybody thinks that Schiff would just be the shoe in, that he would be the automatic in that spot. But Katie Porter, who's been giving him some problems, but right now, the Republican, former Major League Baseball player, he's so far leading that race out here. So it's a possibility that the man who everybody thinks would fall into that spot might not actually even win. I'm trying to remember what is his name. I'm looking up real quick.
I guess it's kind of interesting, when you look at it, if certain people, certain names lose their places, but inevitably the system just knows how to replace that person with somebody who's going to do the exact same thing, but just sounds that part is their ability to do that is noteworthy.
Yeah, Steve Garvey, that's his name. So right now you got a four-way race. You got
Marcus, are
of
you
course.
frozen? Or is that me? Can't tell.
No, you're not frozen. I don't think. I don't know. I can't see that I'm frozen. But
okay.
Can you
Now
still hear me?
Moving.
Okay, yeah. Katie Porter. You got Katie Porter. You got Adam Schiff. You got Steve Garvey, and you got Barbara Lee, who are running. Barbara Lee, of course, is bringing up the back of the pack. It's kind of tough in a nation of, well, in a California Senate seat to win when you're dealing with what is it, like 6% black population statewide now. So she don't have a whole lot of backing out here, and I know a lot of people like to think, oh, California liberal. Not necessarily a lot of that support that you think that she would get. So I think, of course, it's going to be Adam Schiff when it comes down to it. And even if it's not Adam Schiff and it becomes Steve Garvey, it doesn't matter. It's the same corrupt machine that's going to keep on. Let's see. Ruby says Katie Porter is also corrupt. She likes to pretend she cares. I say it this way: there's no way you're getting into any of these positions, especially in California, without being corrupt.
She put on. That's the one who puts on the show with all of the whiteboards and the demonstrations and the mathematic equations, right? Okay, just want to make
sure. Yep.
That's her. She. Again, like everything else with this, it is theater, so you have to just say she's a good performer, and she performed.
Oh no, go ahead.
She performed well in her role, right? She was given a role, she read it, she studied, and she showed up and she nailed her performance because the crowd, obviously, she did build up some level of support. She was able to probably raise some funds for herself and the party. And she voted along the lines she probably voted along the lines with the Democratic leadership, probably, the vast majority of times.
Yeah.
But, again, like you said, they're all corrupt. I mean, that's a given.
But I got to give some. Yeah, I got to give some. I got to be real with y'all for a minute. I just got to be totally candid, totally honest. I still don't understand how she got elected. And bear with me for a minute. Bear with me. I'm gonna just be honest. Out here in California, in order for you to move up, you typically got to lay down. So I'm trying to figure who was trying to lay her down or what blackmail she has on somebody to even get in the picture, because I don't see it. I don't get it. What's going on here? I see your face, Chris, but I'm sorry. I just had to say the shit. Who did she, Kamala, to get to the top? I'm sorry, man. I had to say it. I'm trying to. I be looking at it. I'm like, it's not even about that you're a heavy set, woman. It's not that, because there's plenty of big girls who they know how to dress. They got the outfits. They know how to accentuate what they need to.
Yo.
But this soccer man, soccer. I said soccer man. I mean, Floydian slips all over the place. She looked like she should just be driving carpool minivan to kids to soccer practice. And that angry PTA mom. I don't know how she made it up here looking like how she be looking half of the time. Because she be
Yo.
looking a hot mess. I'm sorry, man. I just had to get that off my
Yo.
chest.
Yo. Yo. Yo, we got to take a brief commercial break. It's a word from our sponsors. Oh shit. That was funny. But you just said probably what a lot of people think, right? To the extent that they think about it about Katie Porter. But if you replace her name with anybody else's name, it's kind of like the same thing. But no, that was actually very funny. Marcus is sharp. For the people who are going to be upset and bitter about it, stay so. I don't know what else to tell you, right?
I'm gonna blame it on Chris. He brings out the worst in me.
And I was going to say Marcus. Normally that's me. So hey, welcome to the club, kid.
I mean,
You know what? Look, you've been watching Raising Canaan, so you might be, it might just be rubbing off on you.
Yo, and I've been watching The Wire too.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who know, I'm watching The Wire for the first time. So.
Yeah, I'm over. I was, I haven't been able to finish it yet, but I'm trying to watch the Avatar, the series.
See, he up there watching airbending, trying to be on that peaceful kind of peaceful warrior stuff, and I just been on some grimy shit lately.
Listening to Onyx and shit, right?
I was just listening to Onyx the other day. By the way, oh yeah. By the way, if you haven't done it,
I know, Ruby. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
If y'all haven't done it, yes, I do be trying to be politically correct, but it's hard all the time. I'm gonna have my weak points. It's just like Bubs. He's trying to get right for a minute, but then he had to slip. And for those who watch The Wire, I know what I mean about Bubs.
Oh, Chris, I watched shit. I probably watched it like 5 or 6 times already in full. Nah, I'm a stand for the Avatar. That's my shit. It's probably one of the best cartoons. And I'm in my 40s, right? So out of cartoons, I grew up in the 80s. We had some good cartoons on TV at that time. Like Avatar really stands against all of them, really. The way they did it. I mean, obviously they have the benefit of better technology and slightly better animation in some cases, but no, the underlying theme of it is fire. But Streets, you're absolutely right. Life's about guns and butter.
Mm-hmm. Man, and you know what? You reminded me of something. You talked about, being brought up in the 80s. Of course, I didn't have this in the show docket, but you know what? Like sometimes that section where we put more, that's where the heart of the show really is. What more than extra topics that come up that we don't have listed? And I was telling Chris about something that and I might have him pull up the first part of it to just show a little bit of it. Cause if y'all haven't been watching this, I need to get y'all in on it. Y'all need to be watching it. I might not rock with him on the theology stuff, and I don't even rock with him on all the theology points or exactly what he's saying the ultimate aim of these different things are. But my man Truth Unedited, what he been doing this latest series on the programming that they're doing, the mental programming that they do with with television. No, he didn't. What they be doing with entertainment. I do want to bring that up, and I want to touch on that a little bit. Not that, Atras. I don't want to touch on that.
Yo,
Katie Porter is definitely not a Paul.
it's oh shit. Yo, it's funny. You gotta pretend to not know what that is, right?
Oh, y'all know what that is. If it's a man,
never
if
heard
it's a
of that.
man in my chat that don't know what a Paul is, I don't know
what that is. I don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't know what a paw is. Okay. Next, you're gonna tell me you don't know what a whale tail is either.
I don't know what that is.
I'm sorry, man. I had too much rest. I apologize, audience. I apologize. really, what happened? What y'all don't know is like y'all seen the movies like Freaky Friday. Like me and Chris, we switched bodies for this show. That's really what happened. So Chris hopped in my body so he could say a bunch of wild ass shit and make me look bad. That's what's going on. Oh man.
Oh shit, that shit is too funny, man. Well, we hear like all kind of in the entertainment shit. You seen that shit with Diddy?
Heard somebody suing Diddy.
It's a producer.
Telling the truth about Diddy. Diddy wanting to break him down.
Well, what's funny is if you read through the lawsuit, it blew up. It went viral because of the names and the implications, especially like the homosexual aspect to it, right? But the person who filed the complaint or filed the charges, now he wanted to get paid for what he did on Ruby. Anyway, the guy's a producer. He wanted to get paid for the work he did on Puff's last album, right? The money didn't come. He's suing him, and I think he just threw a whole bunch of shit in there he just threw a whole bunch of shit in that lawsuit to, bring awareness to it. So hopefully, Puff will go ahead and settle the case real quick, like he did with Shorty. What's her name? Cassie. Wait. Okay. Am I frozen, Marcus?
You froze for a little bit, but you still there. Like I had to remember. Like I was like, who is Cassidy? And then somebody reminded me. I was like, oh, she the chick who sing like she's sleeping on the couch. That chick, the lazy singer. It's like, I've been waiting so long for you to answer my call. I'm like, yeah, that one. Oh man, y'all don't ignore me. Ignore me, y'all.
But what's funny is the dude alleged all of it. The producer, what's his name? Lil Rob. I think his name is Lil Rob, and he alleges in his complaint that what's up, game? He alleges that Puff touched him and did some. He alleges Puff did some things to him and did some other shit, and sexual in nature. Why you keep going back, hanging around somebody who tried to put their finger up your butt and you don't want to finger up your butt? Tell me how does that make sense?
As the old schools used to say to me,
and then
it need to be some furniture moving, okay? Need to be some furniture moving happening. For those who don't know what that means.
Correct.
that means that you need to apply back pressure with hands and feet. That's what we're talking about. Somebody need to be
Fact.
all over, from, like Chris Brown said, from wall to wall. Somebody need to be thrown everywhere. You don't do
I
all
mean,
that
he
shit
said,
to people.
he even said that
Oh yeah. Hold
he
on one thing.
yeah.
I forgot. Game.film. He did a post the other day about a couple movie pickups. If you want me to hop on and give you some breakdowns on your channel, um, discussing Hoodlum, hey, I'm your man for that
We
one.
do hoodlum.
Hoodlum was my yeah. He just bought Hoodlum, Scarface, Mad Max, and I don't remember the Clint Eastwood one. But I told you, Mad Max is a definite classic. But Hoodlum is like one of my most underrated, like,
Okay.
gangster movies. It's probably the most underrated gangster movie that nobody talks about.
I still own the tape and
But
the
sorry.
DVD. No, you
Oh,
good.
really?
Um, yeah. But this guy Lil Rob, who made this allegation in the complaint, that makes mention of a rapper out of Philly who used to date Nicki Minaj. Obviously, that is alluding to Meek Mill. Meek Mill was on the internet going crazy, trying to defend himself, or talk. I don't know what he was doing, but he made a lot of noise on the internet this week for his name being out there. Usher's name was also out there. He didn't get as much notice as Puff did, but I mean, excuse me, as Meek did. But that's because everybody knows about Puff and Usher from a long time ago. Um, he alleges that there's cameras everywhere, that there's payoffs, that there's threats, they doing illegal shit, that they're doing a whole lot of just underhanded Epstein-esque type of behavior in those circles. I mean, I would not. I'm not. I wouldn't be surprised if that did exist to a certain extent. I mean, let's face it, right? Where in the artist world, the artist is the commodity, right? The artist is the money. So you have to try to honeypot them people in any which way you can. And normally you do that through drugs, music, nightlife. That's how it goes. And they get these people in these positions, they make them sign contracts, they put them in positions to where, their creative energy turns into dollars in your pocket. Puff is notorious for Jay jerking his artist and then want to have like a PR stunt a couple of months ago. Oh, look, I gave all my artists back their publishing. Yeah, like 25, 30 years too late when those songs are not being played as often as they were back then.
And
So,
when there's
at some,
not nearly as much money to make off of them.
yeah. So Puff is going to continue to suffer. I don't know, how he comes out of it. Not necessarily that I care, but, we are, we we've seen a lot of shit come out about a lot of people lately. So they don't call it masters for no reason. Hey, that's a great point, Streets.
Oh, and shout out to Wheezy. I saw Wheezy in the chat earlier, and I forgot to shout him out. Shout out to Wheezy. Um, it always
Mhm.
it's kind of funny. Like they go, like, it reminds me a lot about the Locks. Like, Jadakiss is one of the coldest rappers who've been out for the longest, and yet he probably one of the brokest. I'm not saying he broke as in like he's struggling out here panhandling or something, but like, Jada probably sitting on, as far as that he made from music, probably like maybe 500K. He probably made more
A
off of
little
all
more.
the other shit that he's done outside of music, but
Mm.
he's still one of the top rappers. And then you have like the Migos come out of nowhere, which I can't even understand half the shit that they say, and they probably sitting on 100, 200 million. But that's what happened when you fuck around with Diddy, or when Diddy
Stir
fucks
fry.
around with you. No offense to people who love
Yeah,
Migos and mumble rap.
seriously.
No offense to the mumble rap lovers, y'all.
Yeah, man. But And not surprisingly, who else was named? Clive Davis was also named, right? So, I mean, again, I tend to say, copying the behaviors of people who don't like you is not necessarily the smartest thing to do for yourself personally and or your culture. That whole setup sounds like nothing that Puff would have came up with on his own. Sounds as if that was something he was coached into doing once he reached a certain level financially. Hey, when you get here, you know what you got to do now, right? Can't trust anybody. Da 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 da. You got to make everyone compromised, and then you throw in these people their weird sexual habits and desires, because that's always what gets them is what they like to do sexually, because then that's what comes out first, and then once that dust clears, everyone then looks at everything else they're doing. But you can't. It seems like no one cares about certain things until sex is made part of the story. It's a really incredible thing sometimes when you think about it. How insignificant it is that a dude, if he wants to other men, if as long as they're willing, that's your business. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to know. The same as if you were plugging, a bunch of women. Okay, good for you. Do your thing. You know what I mean? Um, the fact that it becomes scandal so much is really wild, and the fact that we make it scandal here, even as a whole bunch of people here, probably binge watch porn. Day in, day out. Do I think Diddy planned the Biggie killing? I don't really know. I don't think so. I think there was a lot of other things happening at the time in LA involving the street shit, that wasn't industry. So I don't know, because remember, all that stuff happened on the West Coast. This did at the time, 96, 97. Does Puff have a lot of money? Yeah. But is Puff able to really be deep, deep, deep into the streets on the West side, like on the West Coast, like that? Through his money, yes, to a certain extent that he could hire maybe some real, legitimate, street dudes or whatever. But I don't know if he would have the pull and the finances to really pull that off to the extent to where somebody didn't snitch on his ass much earlier in the process.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't rule it out because I think Diddy had a lot to do with a lot of the bodies in his circle that dropped. Whether they dropped where it was accident, natural causes, I mean, basically like you look at like the only person who
All
was
right, Oz.
around in his early days career wise that really know about what was going on, who kind of still made it out of that, was Albie Sure. And so I do have
But
questions.
he has I'll be sure kid though.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
what did
but
somebody dipping
the
out?
yeah, Oz is out.
Oh,
But
Oz. Oh, yeah, yeah.
you know, coincidentally, both the Puff and the excuse me, both the Pac and Big killings. There's a lot of conspiracies underneath it and around it and over it and in it. But just keep in mind, a lot of that stuff was real life street shit that really had nothing to do with some of the bigger players that we think of. Again, just think about it like this: if Pac and those guys don't stomp out Homie at the casino, do they get shot up at that moment anyway? At that night they got shot. If they don't stomp Homie out and they go about their business and they go, to a party and they end up going to sleep and waking up the next day, no issues. He doesn't get lit like that. You don't get lit up like that.
I've
And then
I've I've
hold on.
honestly. Oh no. Oh,
Here's
sorry. Go
the
ahead.
and then here's the last thing when people like to say, well, maybe Suge did it. Da, da, da. How do you orchestrate a shooting of your home of how do you orchestrate the shooting where you're in a vehicle and you know niggas ain't sharpshooters, and you make it so that it grazes your head. Nah, dog, them niggas can't shoot. They shoot kids in churches at funerals, dog. So no. Again, there's the one thing I will say that is very important though is that everyone who had a financial tie to the actual music made a shit ton of money after both of them died, because neither one of their albums, I don't think at the time prior to their deaths, had gone platinum yet. I think they probably both went gold. Maybe Pac had hit platinum. I wasn't 100%. I'm not 100% sure, but after they died, their music went bananas. I think Biggie's album is almost diamond, and Pac has sold like altogether well over $10 million. So whoever had the line on the money for the publishing and the royalties and all that, they got ridiculously paid in a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah, but Suge had it for Pac, but he got sued and got it taken off of him.
Mm.
So the money was going back to him. And to answer Choosy, yes, I'm. They got at least about a decade on me, just the younger of the two. But I think that
And just like the media today with everything else, the media really hyped that shit up between East and West, East and West. It really wasn't like that, you know, on the ground. But then the way the publications hyped it up, and really the way Pac was going about it and carrying himself so loud and extra about it, it really made it out to be more than what it really was. And
well,
that's the
well,
unfortunate part, because it fucked up a lot of good music that potentially could have been made without all that nonsense. Because yeah, did we get some music that was great because of the tension? Sure. But imagine the music we would have had if everybody would have been able to collab on some level. It would have been fire. You know what I'm saying?
I would say though, with the artists themselves, like it wasn't no actual East West beef, like
Yeah.
like actually on the ground, but like between them, yeah. I mean, like I remember, what was it? And I'm pretty sure some of y'all remember this when Snoop went to New York and he was like, "Damn, they ain't got no love for me out here," and it was like some real beef back then. So
Well,
it was a
that was at the
degree of
award.
that, but that was the industry thing. That was like not like for the street.
But that was some hip hop shit. It's like kind of like sports, right? Snoop, a West Coast artist, went to New York, won the award. That's like Steph. Well, no, not in this day and age, but it's like going into Madison Square Garden and saying you the best. You're gonna get booed. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
do good, you're gonna get booed in that arena. I mean, obviously it was a little more hostile than that, but I mean, it all worked out at least for Snoop. And even if you listen to Biggie at the time, what was he saying? I don't even know why Pac is beefing like this. He was like, I don't know. Then he says, I ran into Pac. He told me I'm just trying to sell records. Even if you look at the way Biggie carried it, Biggie wasn't even on some rah-rah shit. Let's go do something. He know niggas from Brooklyn. I mean, come on. Pac know people. Pac, Big knew probably some of the people Pac knew. Look, if you was around that time, you heard the names in Brooklyn. You know who to go to. You know what calls to make. You know what I mean? You know whose numbers to hit if you had a problem. If that was the case, I'm sure all them in Bed-Stuy could have, long ago caused an issue. You understand? So given the fact that it wasn't even like that, just shows you that they really hyped it up to sell all of those magazines, because all of those magazines like the Source, the Excel, all of them were covering that issue almost monthly. They had some kind of big feature story on East versus West. So the publications had to make money, and unfortunately, that's what drove the finances at the time.
Yeah, I mean, You got to remember, a lot of artists
Yeah.
in general weren't real any damn way. A lot of them weren't. A lot of them were were faking an image. And even some of the ones who were street, they were playing it up because of A&Rs and stuff like that in the industry. So you got to always factor all that shit in too, because just like how what was it? Not busy.
Easy
Shit,
E.
which one? Crazy Bone. Crazy Bone was bringing
Oh,
out
crazy.
about how the executives were trying to get many of them to push more violence in the music, hoping it would portray to more violence in the system for the whole for the what is
Private
it
prison.
for the private prisons. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. And I was gonna tell Laura over there that I'm jealous. She said she was doing going to chili cook-offs earlier today. I'm like, damn, why don't you invite me? I want to go to chili cook-off.
Hmm. Yeah, man.
Especially.
So that was that. Just to answer, we kind of got off on a tangent, on a little bit of that. And speaking of beef, and speaking of like split screens and shit like that, you see your man Biden and Trump both took their time to go to the border this week.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that, and because immigration is the big issue that everybody's all concerned about, and so um like me and Chris, we talked about it earlier, like some of my opinions on it. And, I figured that this will kind of a lot can be said on it. Did you get that video that Atris sent me? I sent over to you because I want to pull that one up and have that one ready. Oh, right now they're making immigration the big issue, and it seems like always from the right, this is the never-ending issue. I mean, and people can say, "Oh, well, no, it's because it's this big caravan, and last year it's this big caravan that's going to come right around the elections, and every election time, magically, the right sees this giant caravan that's always coming." And I mean, I could think of even back into, I mean, shoot, yeah, pretty much every election cycle. It wasn't just with Trump. It wasn't just, I mean, go back to even Bush's time. And they were all worried about illegal immigration, the illegals, the illegals, the illegals. And it's something that the right is always focused on. And I honestly think a lot of it has to do with they don't want to see this country changing from a predominantly white country. I'll just be honest. They don't want to see that change. Even if all the immigration was done 1000% legally, they don't want to see the country changing. That's what I believe the genesis for a lot of this comes from. Two, this whole, "Oh, we need to build a wall and it's because of Biden's policies." It's not. It's not because of either one of those policies. You don't even need to build a fucking wall. You don't need to do any of that shit. All you'd have to do is say, you know what? If I'm just saying, if they really wanted to crack down and they wanted to just dead it instantly, and I'm saying this, you guys can clip this at what 43 minutes in on the show. In fact, I'll wave my hands like this. That way, y'all can go back. Y'all can go and find this particular clip. You can clip this for your conservative friends who bitch and moan about how to stop the border stuff. If you really wanted to end it, if you really wanted to like put pressure, you get everybody on the right to get behind penalizing and fining corporations which hire undocumented. If you did that, if you said, all right, for every undocumented immigrant, it will be a $50,000 fine each individual time. Now, not that I give a shit. I don't care. I really don't care about this issue because it's a country that's full of a bunch of people from a bunch of different places, and the people who actually this is their land, they don't get the respect and love
any way that they deserve. They don't even get a say so on shit that goes on in here. So I don't give a fuck about a patriotic American. Y'all can miss me with that shit. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck about the borders. I don't care about, oh, they're taking all the assistance, because you know what? This country ain't got no problem with shipping money to every fucking corner of the world for everything. This country has no problem with going into every country around the world and fucking up their shit. And then when you fuck up their shit and they get mad because they come to your country because you've destroyed their economy, I don't give a fuck about your complaining and bitching and moaning about them coming here, because you broke their shit. Now you basically invited them to come into yours. So either you pull everything out of every pull America out of all these other fucking countries, then you have a leg to stand on, or you don't do that and you shut the fuck up if they decide to come here. But back off my little soapbox. If you decided you really wanted to end immigration or illegal immigration, charge $50,000 per undocumented worker, which is hired from every single corporation, and you will see that shit stop instantly once it's enforced. Let one company have to pay $15 million because of all the undocumented workers, and watch how fast that shit ends. But you're not going to see it end because the corporations are the ones who want undocumented workers. It's not the Democrats. It's the corporations. The corporations which fund the Democrats and the Republicans. So this whole fighting about a border wall proves that you guys don't know what the fuck is going on.
Marcus,
Sorry,
that ties
in my rant.
No, that was fire. That ties into what I've said previously, right? About the building owners in these places where the migrants are. Why are you putting them up? Obviously, because you're getting a nice check from the government to put them people up. And again, you don't have to keep them buildings up to code. There's not going to be customer complaints. Ain't nobody calling, consumer affairs. Ain't nobody calling, whatever news channel to do an expose about it. It just is what it is. They're just collecting money, and a whole lot of it, because again, if you wanted to really stop it, you would tell them. If you're the government, you would just say, no, you can't do this, and you can't, you know what I mean? This has to be for the residents, etc. I mean, look, they even got hotels saying, nah, we're not taking regular guests. This for the migrants. What is that telling you? Why would a Holiday Inn in the city, Midtown Manhattan type shit, why would they not want the tourist money? What's better than tourist money? Government money.
Yep. I mean, it's just frustrating hearing this like dog and pony show, because it's like, y'all get out here rant and rave for Fox News and all that when y'all don't realize, like, I honestly, I don't know if conservatives are part of the hustle or if they're just that fucking dumb. I really don't know. I really don't, like, the MAGA supporters. I really don't know if y'all are really that dumb that y'all don't understand what the fuck is actually going on, that Trump and all them benefit from all this shit.
No, Marcus, yeah. A lot of them really are stupid, like really stupid, and I mean that in the harshest possible way. A lot of them really are stupid, the media entities, I think, and the performers that they put on the TV and the internet, again, they're performing, they're there to serve a role and to play with people's emotions. But it is the regular people like you and I who, regular people like us who look at the situation and would and make the comments they do. They don't know shit. And of course, they loud and proud about it, as always, always. Mm-hmm. And they don't pay any attention to anything else. That's why you say these are people who see conspiracies everywhere except for the ones right in their fucking face.
No, not the ones in their face. If they got to, I'm trying to remember, how did he describe it? He said when it comes to Wands and Jamal, they don't see it, or Tyrone's, they don't see a conspiracy. but they only happen to see it when it only works in one direction. When it's
Yeah.
when it's a BLM march and there's pallets of bricks dropped off there. No, there's no kind of like faking it that, oh, the government's not trying to do anything. The government's not trying to set
But
nothing
the
up.
ignorant
There's no
black.
MK Ultra. There's none of that. But when it comes to January 6th, oh yeah, the fucking government, they're
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's
That's
just
a
like I
fact.
heard somebody say about the Ashley Babbitt thing. Oh, that was an innocent person who was harmed and shot. But when the cops go into somebody's bedroom on having the warrant to the wrong fucking place, you somehow still find a way to make that person guilty. But
Correct.
yet, a woman who was climbing through a thing while a bunch of people are banging and beating on shit, somehow she's innocent. So the person who gets shot laying in her bed is somehow guilty, but the person who is making an aggressive action is innocent. Right there, that's for me, that strips apart most conservatives to show that there's something else going on that you're hiding behind. And I wish most of y'all would just fucking say it. Where I grew up, I used to hear white people they would be upfront and say it. I hear them say, you better not let those niggers beat you. I wish y'all just go back to being honest. Quit fucking faking the funk. Quit pretending that that's not what a lot of y'all think. But y'all want to try to gaslight and pretend, oh, I remember back when we all got along. No, we didn't all get along like that. We all had tougher skin and dealt with it and just took it. And now you just have more people who are saying, no, I don't want to take it. No, I don't want nothing to fucking do with y'all. Y'all stay the fuck over there. That's the only difference now. Shit ain't really changed that much from now to the fucking 90s or 80s or 70s even. It's just a difference of now the people who used to just kind of laugh at the racist jokes that y'all would say, or now they're saying, nah, I'm not playing that game with y'all anymore. That's the only thing that's fucking changed.
Marcus,
Really.
Marcus, speaking of that group, and look, to bring back one of their favorite words, snowflakes. They act like a bag of snowflakes, dude. They were crying. Look, they had Elon Musk and the rest of them crying because supposedly artificial intelligence made some black characters. And then, oh my God, this is a major problem. They're trying to erase the white man. Yeah, I've never seen a larger group of bitches. I keep saying that, bro. Yo, this is why they're not having kids. Women don't like bitch ass motherfuckers. They don't.
Well, also it's hard to have kids if you turn a blind eye to these corporations. You dick ride the corporations, which are poisoning all of us, and then it fucking lowers your sperm count, and now you can't have any fucking kids, and a lot of the fucking manliness that you possibly had left in you, a lot of women's ain't gelling with that, because when it come down to it, most women still want a masculine man, even if he's a little toxic. They still would prefer that than these bitch made ass Hallmark watching soft ass rom-com dudes who are coming out now.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. And I want to throw a shout out to Laura over there and Gregory. Much appreciation for blessing us with the tip. But
But
I'm sorry.
it's true.
I'm just a lot of shit that been on my mind, y'all. And so shit just coming out here and there.
Marcus, I feel you. It's just a fact. I mean, they spend so much time crying. When do you get some ass? At what point do you like? How do you gonna get sympathy? See, right? Is that what you aiming for, Loki? I don't get it. I mean, you're crying over artificial intelligence making black people. I mean, again, this is the thing is, it's even the people in the comments, again, the regular people, middle class people who, you can't afford something to happen to you because you'd be up the creek. You worried about fucking AI making, it's crazy. Ruby, I hear this a lot because of how I talk, right? And the things I say when I'm outside in the street. Candace Owens is often brought up to me, right? And I told Marcus actually I actually want to bring her up for a little bit today. So
Oh yeah,
it,
yeah.
it
We're gonna talk about Kundis.
yeah. But I wanted to answer Ruby's question, and I wanted, maybe we could chop this up and just
Oh
put
yeah,
this
oh yeah.
out.
Before you go there, I want to say one
Yeah.
last thing about the snowflake stuff.
Oh yeah.
The conservatives, man, y'all got to stop bitching and moaning over everything. Y'all really now, at least the so-called liberals and all that, who they make it their cause to be softer and to try to work out and be kumbaya for everybody. Y'all act like y'all the ones who are the PC. Y'all, oh, I'm down with down with all this PC shit. Y'all the ones who are most against every fucking thing, and y'all do all the time complain about everything. They're not making no bones and saying, hey, they're telling you they're softer, kinder, friendlier, just like the Navy has become since I've gotten out. And they're holding up little cards. I feel stressed. That bullshit. They're at least admitting that's who they are. Conservatives. If y'all want to act like y'all the old school, redneck tough, like the ones who were out of Texas back in the day, those ones who are like, yeah, I go, we go out when we go camping. We don't go out with no damn trailer. We go out with actual real tents and lay out in the dirt, like real camping. If y'all want to pretend that y'all that, just stop it. Stop fucking complaining so much. Stop complaining so much. And the shit that y'all complain about, but y'all complain because okay, they take one character and then make them black. But that didn't transfer to a whole bunch of money going into the black community. That didn't make a lot of y'all lose y'all businesses or revenue. So why are you whining? You still got the money, you still got the powers. Just shut it up.
Marcus, they're so slow to everything, right? I think what, we should be nice to them. I don't want to insult people who have special needs. Hamza, what's up? So I won't compare them to special needs people. I will just say that
no, their special need is they need to get some ass. That's what their special need is. That is something special that they all need to calm down.
Do.
You know what? In fact, some of y'all need to go out there and go smoke something.
That too.
Go smoke something. Go drink something. Just get out of quit worrying about everybody else.
Go move your feet.
Go worry about you. Go touch grass. How about that? Go touch grass. How about y'all spend more time worrying about each other? Or that's a good thing. Talking about bare knuckle MMA, like I did for fun in the Telegram. For those who are not on the Telegram, make sure you guys come over and check out the Political Matrix Telegram. But by the way, I put, hey, what's y'all fight song that y'all coming into the ring, octagon, triangle, whatever, cage? What are you coming into? Because I want to encourage more of the fisticuffs. I want to see more of y'all get out from behind these computers and actually have to interact in the real world. Because I know some of y'all, the way y'all talk online, you can't do that shit in real life. I know for a fact y'all can't do that shit. I pray every day to run into some of you motherfuckers. But that aside, in closing, stop bitching. Please stop bitching, conservatives. It is not a good look. And also, here's another thing. If y'all really want to win some of these seats, how about y'all just take a chance to just stop shitting on black and brown people? I'm not even saying you got to change your fucked up views. I'm not even saying you got to change it. Just don't tell us about it. How about that? How about you at least wait till after the election and then shit back on us again? I'm just giving you like strategy here, like political strategy, like advice, which y'all can pay me for if you like. But I'm just telling you, just shut up bitching about some shit every now and then. And then after you get the votes, then you can go back to fucking being a little hoe ass bitch. But beta, exactly. But yeah, go on ahead, Chris.
No, that's funny. Eh, You know, that was good. That was real good. Um, the Candace Owens thing I was going back to. Ruby asked a question saying that, you know, is there any truth? I'll scroll back up to it, but I think she said something to the effect of, what is the truth about, you know, the black family being destroyed by welfare? Okay, let me be as clear as I can on this issue. You're talking about welfare being the cause of the downfall of the black family because if you're married, you can't get benefits. Okay. The history of the people that we're talking about when they were here and, you know, under somebody else's thumb, you know what they did? They bred the people and they took the kids away. They took the father away. They took the mother away. They shipped the grandma away. Yeah, are there some stories where some families were able to stay on a plantation, you know, over a certain amount of generations? I'm sure of it. However, do you think it was 100% of, you know, every family on every plantation who got to stay together? No, that was probably, you wouldn't want to do that because then you could build up some sort of solidarity. So if you want to talk about taking fathers out the homes and niggas not being there and a precedent for it, I mean, that was the system they set up from the time they got here. So to say that, you know, welfare is the reason why, no, it's not welfare. There's a lot of historical reasons as to why we see what we see here on this side of the world, in particular, in this country. So I think we need to keep that in mind. And I mean, to the extent that we say that it affects the black people because, you know, more of, I would assume, more percentage of black people are on welfare than whites. But overall, we know white folks are on benefits more than everybody else. So how come the question is never asked? How come is welfare meant to break up the white family or the Spanish family? Is it meant to, you know, it's always like pigeonholed to only affect, you know, black folks. But I heard before welfare, there were more married black households than significantly. Um, Again, we would have to look at a lot of, we'd have to look at a lot of other
Well,
statistics as well. Go
well,
ahead,
this
Marcus,
is
'cause I'm not sure what the marriage rate was.
this is what I will throw in. When a lot of conservatives point to these factors, what they're not showing is how does that reflect as far as the rest of America? Is that out of whack? Did black people just start having this problem, or was it a problem nationwide? That's one thing because some of these elevation in divorce rates and things like that were a nationwide problem. It wasn't just in the black community. But another thing which you have to factor in is what kind of political things were going on. They don't focus, and this is one thing which bothers me with conservatives. Conservatives, for one, look very me individual. Well, this is what's going on in my neighborhood and with the people I know, but they don't extrapolate any of this out to the nation as a whole or policies that are put in this area and that area and how it affects people. They don't factor in what happens if this one town over here that's a predominantly black town, that the mill is where everybody works. When that mill shuts down, what does that do to that black community? That's something that's never focused on by a lot of these people. It's never focused on the totality of all of the symptoms that go in to affecting the community. It's always just, oh, well, there's not any black fathers in the home and it was welfare. Okay, but what happened for these people to need welfare? What changed in their circumstances?
I mean,
That
what, I don't know. Maybe somebody can look up the stats for me. But which group leads the country in divorce? Right. I mean, obviously by numbers, it was, you know, just overall raw numbers, it would be white folks. Just like more white people, Americans who identify as white, there are more of them on welfare than not. So, I mean, again, why is there no concern for that as opposed to it being black people? And Ruby, I'm not talking about you when I say this, but the overall conversation just highlights, especially when it comes from certain conservatives, it just goes to show they're anti-black. I mean, I hate saying it like that, but they don't like black people. It's really that simple. And even to the fact that knowing the history of this country, even if you don't know all of the history, it was not equal. It was fucked up for certain people. So the fact that you are complaining that maybe the government, which allowed all of this to happen, by the way, decide to shoot them some bread, it irks you that much. I mean, I don't even see them carrying on about Ukraine and Israel like this. And we're talking about, at this point, hundreds of billions at this point spent.
Well, this is one thing that I would throw in there also. When they'll be like, well, we're beyond race and there's people that are set here to divide us. Is it just some random people dividing us, or is it actual people involved? I can tell you of a judge who intentionally made up charges on young black youths so that she can sentence them. And some of them, that sentencing went into their adulthood. And when it got found out that hundreds of black youths, which she improperly sentenced or improperly even charged, you know what happened? She just retired. No harm, no foul. Now, can you show me any cases of any black or brown people deciding, you know what? I'm just going to lock up white people randomly for no fucking reason. And if they did hundreds of white people, which they locked up with no charges or fabricated charges, do you think that they would just get to retire? No. And that's my issue. Even for the white people who aren't white, or who aren't racist, or who claim they're not racist, even for that chunk, there's so many more white people here than other people. All it takes is to have some white people who are racist with power. That's all it takes. It don't take all of them. Mm-hmm. You can have one racist sheriff, one racist governor, and that can affect the lives of millions of black people. And that's what's been the problem in this country, that it hasn't had to be all it had to be was a couple in the right positions, and they can make life hell for everybody else. And the thing about it is, when they do get busted on it, there's no pushback. There's no penalty for these people.
And even in the commentary amongst the conservatives, there's not even an acknowledgement of programs like this. Like, not just the judge you mentioned, there was another judge, I think, he was sentenced to prison as a result, but he had to deal with the private prison. So every time them kids would appear in his courtroom, he would sentence them to, detention. And it come to find out, I think there was a name for the program. I think maybe Jonina just put it in there. But it was a system. Yo, dog, send these kids to jail. You get a little kickback. I get all this money, etc., etc. So there's financial benefit to locking niggas up, and they won't even recognize that. They're kind of like the people they beefing with right now, the ones who don't like what's up, Willie? It's kind of like the people who don't like it when people acknowledge that they have certain, that they have certain powers within the country. Even to what Thomas says, and he says this before. Look who, even in the farming world, I'm going to take Thomas's word for it. He lives out there. That's what he does. But look what he's saying. Which farmers get 97% of the subsidies? All right.
Well, and that's a great point to bring up. But I wanted to bring up Laura's point here because it ties back to what we talked about at the beginning of the show. Home ownership. Most people's wealth comes from home ownership and passing down homes. Now, if you are a community which is disenfranchised, and like for instance, redlining. So if black people are only allowed to live over here and only able to inherit homes which are of lesser value, that decreases the amount of value that's passed down generationally. I mean, I was just watching some and then also factor in out here out here in California, for instance, with how high the cost of housing is. How many black people do you think are out here buying up a bunch of $1 million homes? Not a lot. And that's, I mean, there's so many ways to look at this, but when you're dealing with people who don't want to see what the problem is and don't want to acknowledge anything because they want to tell you, oh no, actually it's just because you blacks and browns are just too fucking lazy. That's your problem. And we earned everything that we've ever done.
And you
That's
have no
what it is.
fathers.
I mean,
And you have no
we got to
fathers.
boil it
And you
down
have
to
no
what it
fathers.
is.
And
Yeah,
you have
I
no
mean, you just got to
fathers.
boil it down to what it is. I mean, it's like I inherit $10 million, and then I tell Chris, "You're so fucking lazy, man. If you just worked harder." I mean, that's what it is. You got a bunch of people who ignore how we even got to where we got in this country. Ignore so many things. I was just watching this one documentary. Well, it's this one channel where he goes to different areas and he talks to people. And it's showing this black guy he's talking to in Mississippi. And he's showing like all the car dealerships and all this shit. It's all owned by this Kirk family in this part of Mississippi. Well, do you know where that Kirk family got most of their wealth to even own all this shit that they own? From
The
fucking
land.
slavery. It all goes back to slavery. And a lot of white people try to act like just because you and your family did not benefit from slavery, there are people who did. And those people, because they never wanted to break bread for what they took, made sure to disincentivize people or make sure it'd be harder for them to earn money. Because you know what happens when you earn money? You can hire lawyers. And you know what lawyers could do? Lawyers can fight to claw some of that money back from people. So let's get a bunch of ignorance to get all mad at the black and browns and keep them down also, so therefore they can never come for what I have.
Marcus, the great grandchildren of people who fought in World War I don't want the government doing anything for anybody. Meanwhile, your great grandfather got his house because he was a vet and the government gave him money to get a house, to get an education, etc. So you are where you are because the government helped out in a lot of these cases after World War I. You know who wasn't available for that program? You guessed it. So even to look at that, and we're just talking about from 1914 on, right, or 1918 on type shit. I'm not even going to talk about prior to that. So even from, the earlier 20th century, financially, they were already a huge step behind. So really, the ignorance of the people is how they still have an audience. You know what I mean? So that's why it's the average people who are a bunch of dumb fucks. So, but again, hey, keep doing what you're doing. It's working out for you guys.
What it is most of these content creators, especially on the right, most of them are Manhattan Institute, Heritage Foundation, all AstroTurf to push the same narrative. And they've sat there and they've shopped it and manufactured it enough. That's the reason why you see that's the reason why you'll see all the conservatives come out. Oh, the problem is they just need black fathers in the home. Well, why aren't black fathers in the home? Well, because the economy was destroyed in a lot of their areas and crime started to creep around those areas. Some of them were doing crimes and were taken away from the home, but some of them were locked up because they were assumed to have and evidence planted and things like that. I mean, I watched this one guy who admitted to a whole town of people which he planted false evidence on. And when I bring up something like this, a conservative, well, that's an isolated incident. You really think so? You really think that there's only one officer in some town in like Alabama who did this, that this isn't happening all over the place. You think that there's not an incentive for cops to have bust? I mean,
But was
think about how many
Marcus,
people you watch the cops sit out there and run speed checks at the end of the month. Why? Because they have quotas they have to meet. Just like cops when they're for murder investigation, they have a certain amount of rest that they need to get so that they can move up the chain of command. So there's incentives all throughout this system for them to do certain types of stuff. And
Marcus,
what's easier, lock up some black and brown people or another white person?
And did we play the video on here of the black guy went to the restaurant where he met the firefighter and the fire? And I guess the guy must have told him, thanks for your service or something to that effect. And the firefighter was saying, "Oh no, don't thank me. I'm tortured, etc." Why? Because he said when he was a firefighter and they would run into buildings, if they saw black people, they would leave them behind and they would go. So, I mean, the truth is out there for those who want to know. If you're in 2021 still using 19th and 20th century talking points and questions, look, stay there then. You stay in the 19th to 20th, we'll be in the 21st and beyond.
Yeah.
Speaking
well, I wanted to add on to that. Just like last week, I brought up about Chris Rufo. Just like he's astroturfed out of nowhere, by big money, right wing, most millionaires and billionaires. It's the same thing with all this stuff. A lot of these people are completely astroturfed, and they're the thinking mind for the Republican Party. Because you know how you can tell that it's all astroturf? Because all of them speak on the same shit all together, almost in unison. And it cracks me up how and the right always pretend as if people on the left they're all just some communists and they're all the left is this, the left is that. No, it's the right that is this, the right that is that. You motherfuckers are all on the same page on all the same shit. And people who consider themselves left, literally hundreds of different of opinions. You motherfuckers are literally a monolith, most of y'all.
They really are. And Marcus, I just wanted to get the few things that we had, and the topics out the way so that we could get back to the quote and more part.
We hit up the Biden, and then we talked about Candace because I didn't have that in there, but we got to her a little bit. Oh yeah, but don't get me wrong. I just want to say this also about the Candace Owens. Though I do see her as Candace Owens, yes I do. That don't mean that I can't say she made a good point here or there. Just like plenty of content creators out there, they can be right. Like that, like the old saying, the sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while. And so that's what these people, sometimes they can be right about something. That don't mean that they right about most of the shit. And that don't mean I'm agree with about most of the shit. But unlike other people, I'm not going to revolt against everything somebody says because I disagree with them on some topics or even most topics.
Yeah, they are. Marcus, I wanted to touch on this. The name keep jumping out at me, and I wanted to say something because the fire brought it up. That Aaron Bushnell situation. Was he in the Navy or Army? I don't know what.
Air Force.
Oh, okay, so he was the Air Force guy. He went in front of the embassy in D.C., set himself on fire, as everybody knows. It's not news. In support of Palestine, in protest of Israel. As Marcus and I discussed earlier, the action was the action. The reaction to it is something worth looking at. From each side. Oh, he's so stupid. That's not the way to send a message. Oh, he could have done something else, and then other people the other side are just like, this is the greatest thing since the last guy who set himself on fire.
I mean, yeah. I don't remember the last guy, but I know what you mean. Like, what was it? I think it was for what the protester Ho Chi Minh.
Yeah, something like that.
My thing is, I get that some people, well, I mean, for one, first off, RIP to him. And I mean, the one thing I do, I give him credit for being 10 toes down on the issue. I don't think you can prove you're more 10 toes down on the issue than that. Because there ain't very many things I can think of I'm about to do that for. But I do got to give him credit for what he did. Whether he did it for some say he had mental health issues, or if that was legitimately that's an issue that he felt that strongly about. There are some members in the military that when they do something like this, when they're involved in this and they think about that there's blood on their hands, that's sometimes a little bit too much for them to take. Some people can't just live with that. And also, people don't know what he didn't see. Y'all don't know the videos that he might have saw, especially because when you're in the military, you get access to different stuff the civilian world doesn't see. And sometimes it can be more grim and more disturbing. And for those who don't realize it,
Right,
there are U.S. military members who are there in Israel.
No, it's just like the collateral. It's just like the collateral damage video, right? Or the collateral murder video, right? You know, people heard. You know, the reporter was it the Reuters reporter? Reuters heard that their reporter was killed, and you know, you think of that. Maybe you think about it. Maybe it was somebody with a rifle just shooting, and he caught one. No, they like fucking rained death from above on a reporter and all the rest of them people there. But anyway, off of that, again, this until people are no longer afraid, or until there are no longer real consequences for being hypercritical of Zionists and the things that they do. Every time something happens that involves them, there's always going to be a certain level of hesitation, a certain level of silence, a certain level of just straight out people being pussy. If you really, as we've covered on this show multiple times, a lot of these people who you listen to, who you watch, they get their checks from these people and they can't say certain shit because then there goes their money.
He put it in here. Oh shoot, where was it? I think Saul. Let me switch back over. Yeah, Saul said it was a woman who it was a lady in Atlanta that set herself on fire over Gaza, which I didn't even hear about that. And that might have led to why Aaron Bushnell felt that he should do that, because he felt like nobody even paid attention to this lady who did this. But and I heard somebody make the point, being that he understood his privilege as a white male, that it would get coverage. That could have been why he decided to do it. Now, the only thing, and I'll be honest, I'm pessimistic. Y'all know that. I'm more pessimistic than most. If I felt like something like that could generate an action of change, then I would say, okay, I understand what you're doing, but I understand this system. They're not, especially now in this day and age, they are not moved by anything like that at all. And also, I look at it's one thing if it's something like, if it's a different issue, but this issue here dealing with the players that are involved, the level of power that they have in guaranteeing that they're going to continue doing what they're going to do. Yes, we can do BDS, but outside of that, I don't see a way which we're influencing the U.S. government. And the U.S. government, even if Biden loses, Trump is going to continue on, and this is going to go. This is going to go on as long as the Israeli government decides it's going to go on. So, and I say Israeli government because, let's say, for instance, Netanyahu gets ousted somehow. It's going to continue because if you understand the dynamics inside of Israel, and people love to do that. I don't support Netanyahu. It doesn't matter if you support Netanyahu. The government which is in charge is Netanyahu's government. So therefore, they're going to push this issue, regardless if it's Netanyahu, it's Smotrich, it's Ben Gvir, whoever. Also, let's say that it's not. Let's say that it's not his party. Let's say it's the other parties. Have y'all paid attention and listened to how they're talking out of Israel right now? And I'm not just talking about the right. I'm talking about the supposed left wing in Israel have become some of the most hardcore Zionists ever. Perfect example. This person considers him a left wing. Rappaport.
Choosy.
People like that. This is the left wing,
Marcus,
and
real
they're
quick,
just as hardcore too.
Marcus, hold that real quick. Choosy, well, I'm not going to call them Jesuits because by calling them Jesuits, half the people not going to know who we're talking about, right? They call themselves Zionists. The president of the United States called himself a Zionist. We're going to stick with the word Zionist because that best describes exactly who we are talking about. I say Jesuits, you're going to lose people. They're going to go down some kind of rabbit hole and they're still not going to get it correct. So for the sake of not losing people, and to keep the picture in their mind, we will continue using the word Zionist. I hope that, I hope that clarifies things for you. Marcus, go back. Go ahead.
No, that's a good point because when you try to use these terms, which you feel like, well, this is more actually who they really are versus what the people know them as, it takes away all the sting of your argument and people actually knowing what the hell you're talking about. When you talk about Jesuits is a larger term tying into other stuff. When you're talking about Zionism, it zeroes in on what the specific thing that's being talked about here. It's kind of like if you're having a theological argument about a certain thing within in certain religions, and you said, the Christians. Okay, well, what Christians are you talking about? There are plenty of different Abrahamic faiths or plenty of different denominations within Christians. You have Catholics, you have Baptists, you have Mormons even fall up under there. A lot of people don't know this. Rastafarians fall up under it also. So if I'm talking about Rastafarians, it wouldn't make sense to say Christians. That's what I'm saying. That's what we're saying, Choosy. If we're talking about Zionists, it doesn't make sense to say Jesuit because a lot of people, how many people even know anything about what's going on with Jesuits? They think of Jesuits as something that happened way back in Europe hundreds of years ago. They don't look at anybody as a Jesuit today. Yeah, I'm not going to go into actually, I might on Hebrew apologetics. I do want to go into Rastafarianism and break down some of their beliefs because I don't think a lot of people realize some of their beliefs, just like a lot of people don't know what Nation of Islam believes. Israel is an ethno-state. Let me read Saul's comment here. Israel is an ethno-state, just like we murdered the Native Americans and stole their land. They teach kids to hate Palestinians like the kids in Jim Crow South. Exactly. The only difference is this has happened in modern day, and the Zionists have massive they have massive sway in the media. It's kind of like people automatically believe. It's kind of like a cop showing up to a situation and you got a black guy and a white guy there. They're both trying to tell their stories. Majority of the time, I'll say 90-95% of the time, they're going to take the word of the white guy over the black guy. And this is what's going on here. Actually, Hamza, not all Rastafarians smoke. That's something that I learned not that long ago. Not every Rastafarian smoke weed.
Oh, Marcus, did you hear about that Jews only sale and real estate sale in New Jersey?
Yeah. I wanted to talk about that. I did want to talk about
that. That's kind of crazy. Did you guys in the audience let us know? Did you hear about that Jews only real estate sale
I think I have that video.
The upcoming auction.
Did you have the video? because they probably need to see that video if you have it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up in a second. I just want to know, if they saw it or if they're aware of it. So before I pull it up,
So I'll
you
try to
know,
find it and send it to you if I can find it. Oh man.
and so the auction takes place in New Jersey. I'll give you guys a few seconds to answer this. The properties that they'll be bidding on, where are they?
Here, yeah, I'll hold. I won't answer.
Yeah, we'll just give them a few seconds because this is.
Well, and especially give them a few seconds. Rockfin has a little bit of a delay, so they can catch up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna make sure to bring that one up that Gregory Walker brought up over here too.
Okay, I didn't see it, but what they're doing is they're having it's close, not Gaza, but in the West Bank. They're auctioning off properties in the West Bank to Jewish people in New Jersey to bid on. I mean, you don't have to be from New Jersey, but the auction's taking place in New Jersey. I'm about to pull it up for y'all. Go ahead, Marcus.
No, I guess I'll just pull this up and show this in well, no, that's a whole different topic, so I'm gonna hold that for a minute and then I'll post the Gregory's comment over there. But yeah, this is and this goes back to what we were saying. And a lot of people are not getting this. This has been the same reoccurring theme through all Zionists. It doesn't matter if you have the extreme hardcore, and I know I broke down different types of Zionists, but when it comes down to it, they all have one motivating force behind it. They all want the land. Not some, not a little bit, not half. They want it all. And Zionism has always been about getting all the land, by hook or by crook. And so it's speeded up as they've needed more land. Yeah, this one. Yeah, check this video out.
I'm Jewish. The reason that I'm telling you that I'm Jewish is because I have a concern about something that's going on in the Jewish community. On March 10th, there is scheduled to be an Israeli real estate sales event at the Keter Torah Synagogue. That event violates both domestic law and international law. We don't allow real estate events to be for whites only, for Jews only, for anybody only. Now, as Jews, we don't get to fly under the radar and break the law and hide it in a synagogue. It violates international law because West Bank settlement homes are going to be available for sale at this real estate event. On the website, it lists 3 different West Bank settlements. Those settlements are in and of themselves illegal by international law. If we allow this sale to go through, we are enabling a local synagogue to violate both domestic anti-discrimination laws and international law. Now, there's other reasons we shouldn't allow it, okay? There's a genocide going on right now. I don't care who that offends. More than 35,000 people have been killed. More than 13,000 children have been killed. People in this community are in deep mourning. People in this community are angry. I'm angry. What this real estate event is going to do is it's going to fan the flames. If it goes forward, there will be a demonstration. I know there's going to be a demonstration because I'm going to organize it.
Yeah, and what Kat was saying, you mean the Greater Israel Project? Yeah, that's what it's going by now. But Zionism is always, and for those especially who I'm not even saying necessarily Bible believers right now, but people who have knowledge of the Bible and the book of Genesis, and it literally says from the Nile to the Euphrates. People say that's what those two lines represent: the Nile River and the Euphrates River, and Israel being all the land in between. Now, if you know a little bit of geography about that area, that's talking about encompassing many countries. Those countries that they have been attacking and going after and having war with all these years: Egypt, Syria, Lebanon, we've went into Iraq, all of this stuff, and Iran being the big boogeyman. All of these countries fall within the Nile to the Euphrates. I don't know if I said Egypt, but if I miss Egypt, that there also.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at all the countries which Israel has had a beef with, and then eventually they became the United States issue also. Oh, Syria. I think I missed Syria. If you look at that, all of these nations which the United States all of a sudden has some kind of problem with, they all fit against the problems which Israel has with these places and have had since. Now, it didn't want me to let's see. Um, I don't know. I tried to share Gregory's comment over there, but it doesn't want to let me share it because I definitely want to talk about what he brought up there. Because I don't know, Chris, did you see that Chris Rock interview? I mean, not Chris Rock, but Kid Rock.
Oh, on Rogan?
On Rogan, what he was talking about. Because Gregory said here, if they don't want to get bombed, they just need to overthrow Hamas. Which, when I hear Zionists say that, I'm like, how insane is that? You're going to tell them, a bunch of people who don't have weapons, that somehow they need to risk life and limb getting murdered trying to go after throwing out their government. That makes sense. Armed.
Marcus, these people killed and murdered people who were going to get food, and they knew they were going to get food.
Yeah.
They knew they were going to get food, and they bombed these people. And, Kid Rock says, oh, if they just, I mean, again, these guys are so pussy. Oh, my God, I can smell them from here. Like, that's the bad type. Right? Oh God, it reeks, dog. It's so ugly. Again, we should bring back smacking people like Bernie Mac did when he got off the train in the movie with Chris Rock.
Head of state.
Just walk down the aisle, and just start slapping the shit out of people. Because I mean, they just run their mouth about they just say the stupidest shit, bro.
Well, I've had people where I've had this conversation, and they're like, well, even with Russia, well, we can't let them do this. We should do this. We should do that. We should do this. And I'm like, you realize that the mentality that you have, this ain't like a street beef. You can't spin the block on them and then, oh, well, I laid it down, so now they know. You're dealing with nuclear powers here. You can obliterate whole countries playing this game. This ain't the same as just like, oh, well, he fought me, so I'm gonna go beat his ass back. No, this ain't that same kind of thing. When you're dealing with millions of people's lives, you got to think smarter than that. And they're like, and Kid Rock said, well, fuck around and find out. No, shut your dumb ass up. If people had your mentality, we wouldn't have any countries. Kid Rock was literally saying, oh, well, we should just start killing civilians and shit. Well, for one, they already are. They already are bombing the shit out of people and killing civilians. And basically with the logic, he said that I'm going to give y'all 48 hours to go ahead and throw Hamas out of power. How the fuck are they going to do that? This is not the Three Amigos movie. I don't know if y'all remember that movie, but in Three Amigos, the Three Amigos gather together some fucking guns for the townsmen so they can push out the posse which has been running them over. This is not reality. And people who have this dumbass thinking, oh, they should just push out their governing party. I put it this way. We all live in cities and towns. Do you think you could take over your police department? Because I definitely don't think, I mean, and even just the particular town which I live in California, I don't think that I could take out the police department. I don't think a whole bunch of us could get together and push out the police department, because you know what's going to happen? All the other police departments are going to get together, the federal agencies and all that, and push you back. And so
Streets.
Hamas has the weapons, Hamas has the bombs, Hamas. So how are just a group of random people just going to get together and band together? We're going to round Hamas up. It's just idiotic talk. And this goes back to conservatives just say stupid shit.
You know, remember the Nazis, some of the shit they was doing, they learned from here. They didn't develop all of that whole entire program on their own in Germany. They watched, they watched the pilot here, and then they decided to, make some changes to it. But don't forget, we were the inspiration for that. When I say we, I mean the United States.
Yeah, Gregory. Yemen too. All of that fits within the Nile to Euphrates and all of those lands. According to, and that's the reason why I'm saying, people who think that, oh, well, no, they just want this area and that area. Look at who they've been fighting with all of this time. Look at who Netanyahu, all the times he's been in government, who he's went and said that these are the enemies and these people need to be taken out of power. And even to take it a step further, he said, after we deal with Palestine, this is like in 2015. He said, after we deal with Palestine, I had a meeting with the other European leaders, and we're deciding about what we need to do with Islam throughout Africa. So now he's talking about after he deal with Palestine and the fact that that they want to go all the way across the whole basic Middle East and go deal with that. Now he wants to export that on to the continent of Africa and go through and start fucking with everybody who's a Muslim there too. Even though they ain't doing shit to him, they have nothing to do with him. Because for these people, it's a war against, it's not just a war against a people, which it is a war against the people because you wage war against people, but it's wage a war against these whole people's belief system. That's the goal. They want to stamp out these people's beliefs as a whole, even if you're not even against them, even if you have nothing to do with them, because it's kind of like one of those mob situations when, okay, you took this person out because they were a witness. Well, now you're going to take out anybody else who you think is a loose end, anybody else who you think could be a problem down the road. And when you've operated in this manner of perceiving everybody around you as a threat, now you need to eliminate every threat, and anybody who's tied to that person is a threat. Mm-hmm. If it was up to a lot of these hardcore Zionists, they would wipe out probably easily a third of the earth. But if you really even look into it deeper and listen to what some of their rabbis even tell you, the goal is to wipe out most of everybody anyway. After they wipe these people out, onto the next people, onto the next people, onto the next people, and then put everybody else as their slaves. So the people who think that it has nothing to do with the religion of what some of these Zionists believe, you don't know the and I'm blanking on what the Likud party. You don't know what people in the Likud party really think, and they are the ones who hold the weight and the power in that country for the most part. Even without Netanyahu in power, they run it.
Mm-hmm. That's how it goes, man. There's things happening all over the world. There's fucked up. There's even worse things happening in the Congo currently. I mean, as bad as what's happening in Gaza, there's actually worst shit happening on the continent of Africa right now. So right now is just, we would think that we would have evolved. We haven't evolved much. Our tech has evolved, but we have not evolved that much.
At least I would say on the continent of Africa right now, going on, well, because it looks like it might be a war between Congo and dang, I'm forgetting who that was. I mean, the difference is a lot of times these are militias versus militias, where they're at least both on an even footing. This right here, you got a bunch of innocent people who are just being slaughtered by a government who has decided that we're going to sit above you and we're going to decide what we believe you can deal with or do. So, I mean, that's the only difference that I would kind of put a little separation there. That at least it's not military where it's uneven. Both are fighting this, and a lot of the innocent people are being trapped in the middle.
Well, also, damn, Janice, stay on my damn head. It is all tied to it as well,
Oh yeah.
and it's the same Western powers funding the mercenaries who are going into these countries and doing a whole bunch of shit. And then they make it seem as if these people are attacking other people based on their ideology because they have some spokesperson who says some things, and you actually think that the person on TV is the person with power and not the performer in a lot of these cases. Where are they getting all this money from for all these weapons? Logistically, where you getting all these trucks, etc., etc. These are not the militaries of all these countries, mobilizing against a segment of the population. A lot of these are mercenaries. Where's that money coming from? You need money
for
to
these
pay them.
militias to pop up.
Yeah, and for them to keep popping up, and then for them to take like a vacation and then come back, at certain political times, it's very convenient that it happens. But clearly the resource war is on and popping in Africa. They don't know what to do. And I'm pretty sure them folks in Antwerp is looking at the diamond situation there too, kind of wondering what's going to go on with their precious little, worthless rock. Isn't it crazy that the people who live amongst diamonds walk over them and just kick them down the road like they're nothing? And they've convinced the world that that useless rock, that useless shiny thing is worth so much money. It's crazy when you really sit and think about it.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about it, not funny, haha, but the thing about it is, what Chris was saying.
Sorry, to Street's comment, he said Africa ground zero for all the resources. Didn't Putin try to say that Russia had most resources in the world, or was he just limiting that to oil? Because I thought he just.
Well, I think he was referring to just in Europe.
Oh, okay.
Because Russia, Ukraine, they have the most resources as far as Europe. I mean, well, that's not hard considering Europe don't have anything. That's the reason why Europeans go all over the world stealing from everybody else. There's nothing in there. There's nothing in that place. And I think it's a reason why there's nothing in there. And it's because that's what's going to motivate these evil ass people to leave from that area and start stealing from everybody else.
Marcus, you know what? We should remix. You know how they like to make fun of black people and they be like, oh, they was Kangs, right? We could apply that and say to Europe, you came from caves. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why there's nothing there.
I mean, and I can say you came from caves, from the cave before that cave too, but I ain't gonna go there right now.
I'm just saying, we want to be ignorant, right?
Well, my thing is, when it gets into these countries, and I look at my eye is looking at France first of all, because France is the one France and Great Britain. Those two are the ones who are digging into Africa the most, backed by the U.S. The U.S. is like, we'll take backup on this one, but we'll take primary on Israel. But that's the same. I mean, that's what they want to do. And I'm telling you, what's going to end up happening? I saw somebody in there. They put this is like end of days type stuff going on. This is what it's going to
Yeah.
lead to, especially with the people like with the Nikki Haley's, you know, the what's his name? Trying to remember. What's that? What's that?
Marcus.
That soft ass dude from South Carolina. Super
Tim
soft.
Scott?
No.
Oh,
No.
Lindsey Graham?
Yeah, Lindsay. That's what I'm saying. The one who wake up praying for a bag of dicks for Christmas every day. That's that that one right there.
Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, Lindsey Graham. That's the one I was talking about. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm not right. I apologize. That wasn't nice. But with these ones, they want this war shit so bad. And I look at it like a dog who chases a car. One day you're going to catch up to that car. Well, the reason why I joked about it, Janice, is because he tried to act like he's not. And I'm like, dude, come on, man. Who do you think you fooling? Everybody know you gay, Lindsey Graham. Everybody know you gay. But he want to pretend that he's not gay. And I'm just like, it's not a problem that you're gay. The problem is you don't want to admit it. That's the problem. It's the lying. The lying is the issue.
He ain't got no kids, right?
No kids. Never been married.
Yeah.
70-something-year-old man who's never known to ever be around a woman.
In DC for all these years with probably some money.
Yo, if he was in Death Race, he would have been like Terry Crews' character. Remember, all the other ones had women in the seat with him, and he only would allow men to ride with him. I'm gonna stop. Y'all gonna think that I'm gay bashing. I'm not gay bashing. What I'm saying is I'm liar bashing. That's my issue. Stop fucking lying. Like that song. Why you always lying? Stop fucking lying. We all know you gay, dude. Stop it, man. That's what be pissing me off. Most of my life, you've been in politics lying. I mean, old boy got caught in the bathroom trying to, solicit bumping shoes.
Yeah, what was it? The wide stance?
The wide. I just have a really wide stance. No. We know what it is.
Nobody takes the shit trying to do a fucking Van Damme split. Like, who taking the shit like that in the bathroom?
We know what it is. Just stop lying. Everybody, just like I said earlier today. No, that wasn't him. It was what was his name? Larry Craig or something like that.
Name.
Larry something. But that's my thing. Just like I said about these races. And stop lying. We know you're racist. Just stop it.
Just look
it. I don't like the lying.
Look, just look at his mannerisms, yo. If you're unsure, just look at the mannerisms. They will almost always tell you. They always give tells, always. And again, I don't know how you live in DC that long, got that much money with that many prostitutes around. You ain't even heard about a scandal. I mean, yeah, there was a scandal with him, but the scandal involved male prostitutes, didn't it?
Right? It was rumored.
Oh, okay.
It never came to an actual surface, but it was rumored.
Yeah, and Lindsay got a nickname too. I can't remember what his nickname is that they gave him in that little thing, but again, you may hear you're gonna hear some shit about me. You might have heard some shit about me, but I'm gonna tell you this: you ain't never gonna hear about me and no man.
Yeah, it was Idaho Republican Larry Craig. I was right. It was Larry Craig.
Yeah,
left the Senate after he pled guilty of seeking gay stranger airport sex.
Yep.
And he was up that he was one of them family values Republicans, and I mean I get it. When Lindsey first ran, he couldn't be an openly gay Republican. I get it. But it's 2024, man. Let your freak flag fly. Quit lying to people.
Yo, he was probably on Backpage in DC doing damage.
Mm-hmm. Or getting damage done, because he
That's
looked like he would have been in the TD Jakes camp. You know, that power bottoms.
Have you ever been swallowed?
I can imagine him like, have you ever been swallowed?
And
You know, he got a real soft little voice.
And we're making light of Lindsay, but to Chris H's comment, he is a bloodthirsty piece of shit. Lindsay Grace, whatever his name is.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if on Epstein Island he not just doing that. He probably messing with little boys too. I could see him being a boy toucher.
Yeah,
I could definitely see him being one of them fucking gross pedophile fucks. I could see that. Because back in Greece, back in the day, they called it pedestry. That's where pedophilia comes from. Back in ancient Greece,
or something like that.
Yeah, they used to feel like you're not enlightened if you didn't mess with a young boy. And so I think some of them dudes still out there doing it, and he would be my number one suspect on that.
Yeah, there's a lot of pederasty. Yeah, they all.
Yes, so Lindsay is a gay basher who hides the fact he is gay. Yep, that's exactly what it is. And I guarantee you could talk to most gay dudes, and they'll be like, "Come on, bro, we all know that. It's obvious."
That's it, Ruby.
Yep, it's obvious. And also, yeah, that's a good point.
And his age
he
group
probably can't come out in South Carolina because his voters might not support him.
And his age group ain't for that.
Yeah, that could be, but I think that.
Oh shit! Yo, Greg got bars.
He there too.
That was good, Greg. But Lynch's got to be in his 60s at least.
No, he's in his 70s, definitely.
Yes, he's 70s. Yeah,
definitely 70s. I want to say, let's look it up. Let's look it up. He's been in politics for 27 years.
Oh, really? It seems like he's longer than that. 68 years old.
68.
He was born 1955.
He even looked like a little lesbian, don't he?
He looked like a woman.
He looks like a little lesbian.
He looked like Miss Doubtfire.
Or no, remember Pat? Remember Pat from Saturday Night Live?
Mm-mm.
He looked like Pat's boyfriend, Chris, or girlfriend. I don't know what it was, because remember, we never were supposed to know what Pat was. If Pat was a girl, boy, and like then Pat had a girlfriend or boyfriend. Do any of y'all probably don't know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. It's suspect.
Y'all don't. I'm gonna bring it up for those who don't know what I'm talking about. Let's see. I'm gonna bring up a picture. And you were supposed to not know what Pat was. Now, the actual actor, Pat, was a female, and the Chris one was the girlfriend was is a man who played that character.
Oh, Marcus, speaking of sex, you see, more people's sex got them in trouble. The story we've been talking about, Fannie Willis, her whole business, her and that guy, Wade, the special prosecutor in Fulton County, their business is being put all over Front Street. But how many times he crept to the crib, he was knocking that shit down for years. He had his former law partner in court on the stand. Marcus, homeboy was sweating, dude, like, oh shit, I can't lie for these niggas. They gonna get me jammed up. Yeah, they been fucking. I mean, he didn't say that. I'm being extra with it, but no, that's more or less what happened though. Like, so
Is it messed up that when I see pictures of Fannie Willis, it reminds me of Bad Santa when she was like, Willie. She's like, no, you can't fuck me up the ass anymore. Last time I couldn't shit right for a week. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know why that connects in my head, but man, that's probably not funny. That's probably not funny. I apologize to everybody who I'm offending. I apologize. I just be getting out of control sometimes.
But you know, it doesn't look good for her. It doesn't look good for Wade. They'll probably be, I think the judge, if he's not swayed by the politics or not being paid by, you know, the quote left wing machine, if you will, then he should rule to remove them both. They lied. They committed perjury. You're officers of the court. That is, you know, even though you're not lying about stealing money or taking a life, but you took an oath, you hold yourself, you're supposed to hold yourself up to this highest regard. And if that is the case, then you should be removed. So that judge probably should remove them. The case against Trump will probably still stand, but whoever else they replace would have to step in. And this would cause a delay, taking us, you know, months and months down the road.
See, Chris, I have an important correction to add in real quick. You know,
sure.
We talked about Lindsey Graham possibly being a power bottom, but no, it's more likely from Laura's suggestion that he probably does Van Damme splits on it. I just had to put that in there.
Yo, no. Now you really got to pull up Pornhub.
No, I want to do that. I want to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want Smutly to get any more money.
I know. God.
We don't need him getting no more money. Because with his what is his website called? Kosher Sex.
Oh God.
You know, he's making sure to put hummus on the sex toys before he sends them out. Oh boy.
I wish my ears were. I wish I was deaf right now, because that's bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Exactly,
I'm getting us. I already know I'm getting us in trouble tonight. I'm getting us in trouble.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're gonna be like, y'all are the most everything. Don't fuck with them.
We're the worst. I mean, well, I'll tell you who you can blame for it. He probably not even on right now. He probably hopped back off, but y'all gotta blame it on Hamza. Because Hamza sent me this Jesse Lee Peters with him arguing with this woman. And just the shit that he was saying, he was like, man, it just I couldn't help but die laughing. He was up there talking about, but women aren't equal to men. They're women. Every man, they hate their mothers, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Stu says women don't have love; they only have hate because women are evil. I'm like, that's another one that need to tell the truth. Also, you don't know what I'm. You don't know what I'm talking about. Do I need to share it? Because I was like, this is almost too much. Where is it at? What's the one you sent me? Here, I'm gonna send it to you.
Damn, Dingo jumped in right with the bullshit, Marcus. See what you started? You see? You see what you unleashed? Pause.
And I'm sober too. Oh, see, Hamza was there. Oh, Yeah, there he is. Hamza, send it to Chris real quick. I'm like, I know that this dude is a plant, but he is funny as hell. I don't know how he keeps a straight face through what the stuff that he's saying. I think it was on Telegram. Let me see. But I don't.
Oh, I know this is gonna piss off Hamza. LeBron hit 40,000 points tonight. First and only ever NBA player to, only NBA player ever to reach that many points. 40K. It's crazy.
I gotta send this to you. I gotta send this shit because this is like, where is it? Where you at, Chris? I send it to your Instagram.
Oh, you sent
Hey, Missy is in the building. What's up, Missy? I just sent it to your Instagram. We gotta show, like, you could skip the intro just a couple minutes into it because, man, I probably watched. That's part of why I was late. I'm blaming it on Hamza. I came in, listening to this, just laughing my ass off. Man, but tell the truth, Gregory. There's other reasons because your wife would probably murder you. 40,000. Miss G, the baddest Brit in the building. But let's see. Yeah, you got to just show some of that. I sent it to you on Telegram.
Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna send it to myself.
We just gotta watch just a little bit of this.
Yeah.
Not even that much. I'm tell you, when I get off of here, when we end the stream, typically I would get on, probably watch some Wire, trying to get caught up on that. I'm watching this JFK show. Full propaganda, but I like the whole idea of being able to go back and forth through time. It's kind of cool. It's 11/22/63. And then at the same time, what BMF just came back, third season. And then for my little humor show, Abbott Elementary, I got a couple episodes to get caught up on that. But I'm not watching none of that. I'm gonna go finish watching this Janelle Marina Menendez Vieira, which I ain't never heard of this woman who claims that she's one of the greatest women.
There ain't no women and children at the border. There's a gang of men that are my kids' age. I tell my kids all the time, hey, mijo, look at all these vatos that are coming right here. They're all coming right here. A gang of them. They're getting ready for something.
Now, let me answer this. Well, it's not a question. I'm glad you brought that up because whenever we say the border, whenever we say immigrants, everybody's ignorance always thinks too. Why are you talking about Mexican? Why are you talking about raza?
Yeah.
And it's not true, bro. Everybody's coming in.
Yeah.
Everybody.
It's the stupidest thing, too, for them to say, the majority of people that come over here or across the border is raza. No, it's fucking not. It never has been. You think the raza down there is fucking really trying to come to America for a better way of life? No. They only come over here because the currency is way higher. That's it. And to help the families down there. That's it.
Yeah.
The currency.
But technically, that's is for a better
If
way
not,
of
you
life.
think they're gonna want to
You're
cross the
getting more
border to
money
come over
for
here
a
and do
better
this
way of life.
bullshit over here.
Right.
The fake ass food, all that. They
Fake-ass
got
women.
farmland over there. You know what I mean? They got land. They grow real food over there.
Yeah, that was the one for the other one earlier. But yeah, I mean, he did make some good points. Well, I don't know if I agree with him about that. It's never been, because this whole thing, like recently with a lot of the Chinese people who are flying over here and into Mexico and then coming up, that's something that I think is a little newer. Like, some of the people who are coming in, but I do agree right now, a lot of the people coming over are not just these Hispanic migrants as they're trying to portray it as. Because I watched let's see, what is dude's name? I'm gonna see what's the name of
The
his
ones
show,
who are loudest, the ones, Marcus, ironically, the ones who are most loudest about this wouldn't mind if the countries of origin were like Finland, Poland, Sweden. They wouldn't
Yeah.
mind Denmark if those were the countries of origin for all these people streaming in here. They wouldn't be complaining. They would actually be saying, "Oh, maybe we should help them. What's going on in their country that they have to come here? But you know what? Let's help them." They would love that, especially the dudes. Oh my god, because they view them women as like top tier. But it's like, yo, bro, don't you realize the ratio over there is like 20-1? Like, relax.
Mark, that's probably, you know what? That's what it is. It's the background. The background.
I gotta change mine next time. Okay, next week I'm gonna switch mine up.
The background I came with, it made me more feisty because I'm in the dojo.
I'm gonna switch mine up. But that is
But
like my brain. That
old
kind of
boy's
just
name
represents
is
my brain.
his name is Peter Santinello. And that's the one which I was watching, the Deep South First Impression, where he's talking to the guy in Mississippi. But he also went down on the border, and he's talking to people down on the border, and he's looking at IDs with people ditching their passports.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Hunger.
Oh, he sent it to you?
Yeah. The one with Jesse Lee, right?
Jesse Lee. Yeah. This had me dying. I mean,
it's gotta be funny.
even though I think either Jesse is the biggest coon that ever lived, or this dude is, I mean, he is spit right out of Steven's loins. This is Steven like 2.0 right here. Or this dude is like trying to remember, what was the dude Man on the Moon that Jim Carrey played? He's the black version of him.
Kaufman?
Yeah, Andy Kaufman. Or he's the black Andy Kaufman. Because he's just playing this role, and it's gonna come out like on his deathbed. Ha ha! I got all y'all. I've been hustling all y'all all this time. I don't believe none of that shit I used to say. The what?
Side
you jump
note,
like
right before we
jump
start.
like two.
Marcus, why
you can jump like 2 minutes in, huh?
Okay. Oh, Marcus, why I do that? Yo, why they tried to jump Cam Newton and he handled them niggas like that?
I don't know, man. I'll be like, what? Cam Newton got jumped at his camp? That doesn't even make any sense.
And he's 260 pounds, 6'4", and he was handling them guys. Like, yo, y'all got to jail before y'all get embarrassed.
And what's partially funny too is like, pause real quick.
So I've actually invented.
What's funny also is like, I have never heard of this woman, have no clue who she is, and she's claiming like, I'm one of the greatest female inventors like of all time, and I'm like, what the fuck do you even invent? Who are you? So this woman, for one, she seems to be quite delusional.
Yo, she lays it on thick. If you hadn't cut your pinky nail yet, and you ran it across her face, her eyebrows, her eyelashes, the amount of makeup that would probably be under your nail would be crazy. Because she just looks like her whole shit is painted on.
Yeah, but that's the new trend, I
know, it's so weird. Yo, if you don't wash all that, look, if you don't wash all that shit off, you're gonna leave my pillowcases and my sheets all stained up. I would prefer you go wash all that shit off first, but I avoid those types anyway, because
what it is
shit like that. You're gonna ruin my pillowcases.
What it is the trans community, they were trying to emulate a woman, and then what happened is women start emulating the trans community, wearing more makeup than them. So they did it like as like a gag a lot of times, like going over the top, because we're going to be what is it called when they're doing the drag shows? They did it as like, Yeah, because they're doing it on stage, and whenever you're on stage, you do everything exaggerated so people in the audience can see everything. So when you're wearing the extra makeup, is to really emphasize I'm a woman. Because because everybody, I don't know, it's kind of something that I heard about that everybody that does the not trans, the drag, that's what I meant. The drag, that's what I meant, not trans, drag. The drag emulated women, and now you have women emulating drag.
The
And
tattoos all look the same. The look, the voice, the way they do it. I mean, it's all the same. Hey, Vay, help us. You
oh,
know.
don't be using that sacrilegious tongue over here.
Marcus, look, them robot hotels gonna go up over here. If we thought the Japanese was bad with it, yo, them robot hotels here are gonna be crazy.
But yeah, let's hear some of this delusion that comes out of here, and then let's hear him get into his mocking, because I realize at this point you have to learn to just laugh at Jesse Lee Peterson, because he's putting on a skit for you. So don't take none of it personal. Just know he is fucking with you. So let's go.
In many technologies, I am the inventor of AI powered currency, AI powered securities, autonomous lethal weapons, and autonomous lethal robots.
Amazing. And you are a feminist.
Oh, hold on, stop.
Defender. Are
Hold
you a
on,
feminist?
stop.
Are you a
Can you repeat
feminist?
that?
Yo, there's so much shit right there, Marcus.
Are you a feminist?
I didn't, because I skipped over.
Invent.
I guess I skipped over that part. I'm like, you
Author,
invented what?
Human right CEO, human right consultant, and a feminist human right defender.
I am, and I'm also an inventor.
Wow, you're busy.
That's true.
And what did you invent?
So I've actually invented many technologies. I am the inventor of AI powered currency, AI powered securities, autonomous lethal weapons, and autonomous lethal robots.
Amazing. And
autonomous lethal weapon and autonomous lethal robots. Where are they selling that at? Who would you sell it to? That's what I want to know. I mean, what, bitch, what are you talking about? This woman is crazy. You telling me just in your garage? Yeah, you tell me in your garage you just made some autonomous like lethal weapons, and yeah, you just made that shit. It was no problem, man. Okay.
Nah, we don't know, Ruby. We don't know what she looks like actually. So I can't say if she's pretty or ugly. I don't know what she looks like.
Good gracious.
you are a feminist human rights defender. Are you a feminist?
Yes.
Are you a
Can you repeat
feminist?
that?
Are you a feminist?
Yeah, so I am what's called an intersectional feminist, which means that typically when I work in human rights, I take a look at a holistic perspective of what different communities are dealing with in terms of their obstacles. And then I work to create solutions that benefit everybody.
And why are you a feminist? Why have you decided to be a feminist?
Because I grew up in the Assemblies of God in a really conservative Christian household that was very Republican. And it was a disservice to what the skills that I needed to understand the power dynamics that occur in society. And when I enlisted in the Marine Corps, I went through a series of sexual violence while I was still a minor because I had enlisted at the age of 16. And the series of sexual violence I went through child sex trafficking while I served.
That's a
And
lie. You cannot enlist at 16.
Dynamic as I started to research what the problems.
You cannot enlist at 16. Even with parental signature, you have to 17 is the youngest you can do. And it's 17 that you can enter the military at 18. This woman is a delusional liar, whoever the hell she is. And then also, sorry,
Yo, but
let it
what
go.
did she call herself? Did she call herself an intersectional feminist?
I don't even know
Or
what the hell
sexual?
that's what I don't get with this.
Or
This
Did she call
some of
herself
these
like
people.
a piece of? Did she
I
call
don't get what
herself like
some
a
of these
piece?
people. I don't know what the hell that shit means. I don't know what I
I'm
don't
saying,
want to know what it means. I don't want to know what it means.
did she call herself a piece of furniture? You know, like a sectional couch? Did she say she's a sectional feminist? Or some, I don't know. Whatever. I'm gonna hit play.
Inside the sexual, I don't know.
Where I started to understand that there was power dynamics that shifted to white males in all of these different power structures and how they were disenfranchising minority women from backgrounds like mine. And when I started to really look into the social sciences to research what the problems were, I started to have an understanding that a lot of the issues that I dealt with and the reasons they were not being dealt with was because of the way the patriarchal structures were developed. And then I started to pursue feminist thought.
Oh, I got you.
I don't want
While
to fall.
growing up, were you raised by your father and mother?
No. I don't want to fall on that
So
much.
for
I won't be
a
going
good
to
portion of my life, I was raised by both of them until it was about maybe 13 and they got divorced. And then I was raised by my father.
Oh, okay, nice. And you were close to your father?
Oh yeah. I mean, look, I love my dad, you know, and I think he's a good person. It's just that you know, our schools of thought are not the same, right?
I'll be right back.
He has not had the experiences that I've had to live through.
Right.
And also being a man, it's very different to understand what the life of a woman is like.
And so have you forgiven your mother for traumatizing you?
So I think with both of my parents and everything that I've gone through, we're so far in my past from what I'm doing today that at this point in my life, it's kind of like obsolete, if that makes sense, because I've moved forward.
And did you forgive them though? Did you go and forgive them, your father and mother?
So I think that my father and mother have their own belief systems about life, but I feel like where we are today, I feel like is a healthy situation. So I feel like that's fine.
And do you have
I feel like, yeah.
Do you have anger?
I don't feel like I'm angry. I don't have my parents, if that's what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying that the parent. Do you get angry at times?
Yeah, like any other human.
Oh, okay. I read that you enlisted in the as you just mentioned, the Marine Corps at age 16. And what made you decide to go in so early?
Because I wanted my college tuition paid for because I wanted to go to school to become a scientist. And I felt like that would be a good avenue to have my tuition paid for. And I had skipped 11th grade. So I was a year earlier. So I was 16 during my senior year, and the military had started to recruit me. And when I took the ASVAB, you know, they gave me a really good offering for my college tuition. So that was the reason I enlisted.
Amazing. You allegedly experienced sexual abuse while in the military. Did that happen?
Yeah, there's a listen, at this point, the United States government, they're giving me the sun, the moon, and the stars at this point because it's well documented. It's not a point of it's alleged, it's confirmed. Like everything that I've been through has been confirmed.
And so when you were having sex with those guys in the military, you didn't want to have it? You didn't want to do it?
No, and I was a minor and I was coerced, I was abused, and I went through torture.
Amazing.
You were a minor in the military.
That's not consensual.
Could this have been, you know, when I read your story about allegedly being sexually abused in the military, it made me.
It's not alleged, it happened.
It is further verified that women should not be involved in men's sport, the military, or get involved in clubs or anything, because I noticed they always accuse men of some type of abuse, sexual abuse or violent abuse or something. Do you agree with me that women should stay with women and men should stay with men?
Yo, 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 this nigga here, bro. Yo, son.
I told you, man. This is a wild one.
Yo, he said, yo, you were sexually abused. Then he said, so you was having sex with them and you didn't want to? What?
Yo,
there's no having,
it gets worse. But this what shows also she's full of shit. You're not in the military as a minor. Period. You're not in the military as a minor. And I'm pretty sure she's younger than I am. So that means there is no way she went in. What? She trying to say she went in she said that she went into the military at 16. Bitch, you are fucking lying. You said Marines. Now, if you say you went into some other country's military, I don't know. I can't, but I can speak for her. There is no 16-year-olds in the military, not in the U.S. military. That is a lie.
Because you hear more from the women than you do the men.
So I completely disagree with everything you just said, because it is not an issue of men and women being segregated and separated, and it's also not women blatantly accusing men. It is a power structure
it's illegal.
of patriarchy that continually lies to men.
You
cannot
be in the military
that's called homosocial bonding.
Of age.
That is where men's relationships with men are built on competition and power hierarchies. Relationships amongst women are based on collaboration and connection. So when men treat women with competition and for power dynamics and utilize women as tools for their hierarchy and their status amongst men, that is the problem that creates and perpetuates sexual violence. So it's a cultural issue.
But men don't think of women as competition because they know that women are no competition to them at all. It's just that
I highly disagree with what you're saying. The reason we have segregated sports to begin with is because women were beating men in sports and men got upset about it. So the reason that sports are segregated to begin with is because during the 70s and 80s, women were consistently beating men in sports. Also, a lot of inventors, myself, I am literally one of the highest ranking inventors in the United States.
What is she talking about? The women were beating the men in sports. That's why they had to separate the sports. What are you talking about? This is a clearly delusional woman. And when I was like, you can't do it at 16. You can skip grades. You can go to college early, but you cannot go into the military early, because the military, there are certain things which you are legally held to. So say, for instance, if you did something which you can be charged with, they can't allow you to do something that they can't hold you accountable for. You can't hold a minor accountable for some of the stuff the same way you can as an adult. Also, how can you send them off on their own as a minor? You can't do that. That's the reason why this lady is so full of it. She talks about all these things which she's created, which nobody's ever heard from.
Look, she said in the 70s that women were beating men. I mean, she didn't even say the sport. She just said women were beating men, and that's why we have segregated.
Sports were segregated before the 70s. What is she talking about?
I don't understand. What women are going to compete with men in the sport of football?
There's never been a woman in football. There's never been a woman in Major League Football. There's never been a woman in Major League Baseball. So I'm like, I don't know what she's talking about.
What woman is going to swing a bat like, Barry Bonds pre-steroids or post-steroids?
You can sign your paperwork at 17, but when you go to boot camp, you have to be 18 by the time you hit boot camp. That's why they have what's called the delayed entry program. Mm-hmm. You sit in that program until you turn 18. So you can't like just go off. They're not going to send you up to Great Lakes because now, like Navy boot camp, for instance, and it's in Great Lakes. I believe Marine Corps is in Camp Lejeune. They're not going to send her from wherever the hell she's from to North Carolina by herself. That's just not true. Also, when she talks about women were beating men in sports, I'm not even saying this on a if women can beat men or not. I'm saying it that's just not a fact. They weren't even competing against each other. So for you to make the argument that they were beating men, they'd have to be competing with each other first for that argument. Men's and women's track and field has always been separated going back to the Olympics in the was it like the early 1900s? I mean, at the time when like Jesse Owens ran in front of Hitler in the like the 1930s, it was already segregated men from women at that point. I mean, boxing back in the early late 1800s, there wasn't men and women fighting each other. Like this woman is clearly, I don't know how she got to where she is. Like she's a complete crackpot.
She's an idiot. She an idiot, my youth.
But yeah, because you got to keep it going. Because it gets crazier. Marcus, it gets crazier.
No, hold on. You keep going. I'll take a break. Give me like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, this woman is just. Now, do I think in certain sports, women can beat some men? Yeah. Do I think all women are created equal and all men are created equal? Of course not. There are some women who can beat some men at certain things. But if you're just saying, okay, we're just going to compare men to women as an overall, it's science. Scientifically, male and female bodies are created differently. Testosterone is one of the things which helps you build muscle. Men naturally have far more testosterone in their body, therefore giving them a physical advantage over women. That's just a fact. That's not even something that should even be debated. Now, if she's talking about women who were born as men, or let me try to get the terms correct, because I tell you, for the people who get bothered about this stuff, I'm not doing this to intentionally try to insult anybody. What is it? Women born male. I think that's an acceptable term still. Women who are born male. If you were born male at an age and you went through puberty and all that with testosterone and all that, and then you made your conversion later, yeah, some of those women definitely have beaten men. But this whole claim of, oh, they had to separate the sports because of that's just lying. Thomas says, as far as I know, you have to be at least 17 years old with parent guardian permission. They can't go into that's the reason why you can't be sent off to a command. And so what she's telling me that at what point, I'm trying to figure, is she saying that she was even in the military, in the Marine Corps, in fact. Another perfect example, Ruby says, men get more oxygen to the muscles and also have more blood vessels to their muscles. Plus, the way their body is built, it is way more than testosterone that makes men physically stronger. I agree with that. Also, you look at the bone density between men and women is different. Also, on average, the average man is taller and larger than the average woman. So it's just so much stuff. Yeah, but I was in ROTC also. I was in Air Force Junior ROTC, and being in that's still something for high school. That's not being in the military. Even if she was in college ROTC, you're not in any kind of combat, and you're actually not in the military. You might be in a program that's eventually going to put you in the military, but you're not in the military yet. Hamza says the U.S. men under 14 beat U.S. women national team 18. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing that. also, I'm not trying to disparage any women, but I'll give you guys a perfect example. My 100-meter time when I was in high school, granted, it was one of the faster times. I ran a 10-200 meter. That 10-2, let me look up the fastest woman's time right now. Let's look that up. Fastest woman 100-meter. So let's see. Florence Griffith Jr., who ran a 10-4 100-meter in 1988. That's the fastest one. Fastest time in the world for a woman was a 10-4. In the Olympics, Flojo. I ran a 10-2 at 16, 17 years old in high school. You that's what I'm saying. This woman is saying just idiotic, easily provably wrong stuff. I mean, so are we saying what women were beating men in track and field? Yeah. Are there some was there men that Flojo could beat? Yes, definitely. But are we saying that she was beating the top men, and that because of a handful of women beating men that they had to separate this? That's just nonsense. Some of the sports they just did not have, and you look at a different time period where it was unbecoming for a woman to even think about playing sports because it was considered unladylike. So it was just a different time. For instance, look at
But
the
you know,
movie. Look at the movie A League of Their Own. They created that because the men were gone off to war, and that was the first time women were playing baseball.
and you know, Marcus, I do want to say there is, as much as we don't like to face it, you have 50 guys in a room. You put 3 women in that room. That's a dangerous place for them women, because there's going to be some men in there who are not going to be disciplined enough to not act on whatever sexual urges they have. I wish it wasn't like that, but it is like that. So,
Well,
you know,
I'm not saying that this woman didn't get sexually assaulted somewhere.
oh yeah, no, not to anything you said, but to the people who may roll their eyes when Jesse Lee was making the point. I think that was the only point that he was making that I kind of agreed with.
Oh yeah,
Um,
and Gregory, Billie Jean King, she was an outstanding female tennis player, but she would tell you herself that she wasn't going to beat the top men players.
no, she did
Billie
beat
Jean
somebody.
King wasn't.
Did
She
she
wasn't
beat
going to beat like an Arthur Ashe
Did she beat McEnroe or one of them dudes or something like that?
in doubles.
Okay.
When you're playing mixed doubles, but that's not a one-on-one heads-up match. It's not quite the same thing. No, I was a teenager in the state of Kansas, which I don't know how fast they were out here in California.
Over where I'm from, we was all pretty good. We was all pretty good at track and field. You see them lights, you better run. You see them red, blue, white lights, you better run, nigga.
Mm-hmm.
That's whatever you 1, 2, 3. Not it. I'm out.
Oh, Ruby said, was it Serena that said in the talk show that she could not beat a man? Yes, and Serena is.
GOAT.
Is Serena? Was it Serena or Venus that played like the, what was it? I think he was like 100 and like the 114th ranked man in the world and lost to him. Dude had drank like a couple of 6-packs before the game and went in there and still beat her. And then was her name Clarissa Shields, who showed getting dropped in the ring by a man. I mean,
I sure did, Thomas. Look, but I was kind of quick. I was kind of quick in baseball. I could turn an infield hit to third into, you know, a easy single. You know what I'm saying? Like a chopper to third. I could turn that into. I could turn that into a single.
Well,
For
they
sure.
put me on. I was the pinch runner on the baseball team. That was the only thing I did in high school for baseball. I was on the team to run and steal bases. But
Yeah, I was pretty quick.
But yeah, yeah. Let's play a little bit more of that because I mean it gets crazier.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, Greg. I probably, looking back at it, I should have ran. I wish I did run track. Yo, my son is a freshman. Marcus, you're gonna laugh. Marcus made the varsity volleyball team. Don't ask me how they did. I say either they suck or you must have a little bit of skills. So I gotta go watch that. But I've been so caught up with basketball.
Volleyball?
Yeah, I don't know what made him want to play that shit, but he decided to play it too. So look, he has volleyball practice 5 days a week, basketball. We're at it about 4 days a week. That means he ain't got no time for these little girls who like little light skinned boys with wavy hair. I'm glad.
I mean, I guess we gotta try to break some ground in some different sports we ain't really mess with because I mean, back at the time when me and my brother were playing tennis, they looking at us like, the hell are they doing here? Ha, of course they're not going to be any good. But you got to remember, we were playing tennis growing up at the same time as Venus and Serena and them were. So just like how they were facing people and they were getting them weird looks, we were getting the same kind of looks too when we come to the court. People automatically assuming these two little black kids from the hood. What do they know about playing tennis?
Just the little things like that, because we always look at things in the extremes. Either extreme words, extreme actions that lead to death, extreme actions that lead to, you being imprisoned. Those are the extremes. We have to look at all the other things that we have to deal with, inside the extremes.
The only time I compete against a female, well, honestly, I've never lost to a female in sports. And I'm not trying to say like women are not, but just never mind.
So to sit there and say that I've competed against 500,000 men this year with my inventions and I'm ranking in the top 1%, I'm doing better than men are. So how are you sitting there to say that like my contributions are not notable when they significantly notable charity?
What I was about to say is that men don't see women as competition at all because they know women are not competition. It's just that women are so insecure and they're jealous of the man, so they're always trying to prove that they're equal to the man.
So and that's so an inaccurate statement.
Instead of admitting that, they say, well, the men try to this, but it's women who are trying to prove that they are equal to men, and it never will happen. You agree to that?
That's called a misogynistic ideology because in order for men to even exist, women have to exist. And scientifically, estrogens were around in humanity for hundreds of millions of years before androgens were. So men would not exist without women. Secondly, if we're going to get to the point that you're making, that women are not equal to men, I just asserted the point that I am a top tier elite military inventor for the United States of America. I competed against 500,000 men and came out on top. So what I'm trying to tell you is I wasn't doing that to compete against men. I did that because I'm just capable. And that the resulting outcome was that I came out in the upper echelon. So what I'm trying to tell you is women don't go about our lives to compete with men. And I did not say that men are trying to compete with women. What I said is homosocial bonding is that men compete against other men for social status and power. So in relation, women are used as tools in order for a man to get higher status in hierarchy. So they objectify women versus treating women with dignity and respect. So again, to counter both of the points that you made, it's not factual because if it was, I wouldn't be as high up on the totem pole for inventing prowess for advanced technologies. How come men aren't doing that? How come they didn't come out on top of me?
I think what you might not realize, and I do understand it, is that in our country today, women and the blacks are not equal to normal people. And so the white man is allowing women to think that they're doing better as they do with the blacks. And so much is not required of women and the blacks as it does with normal people. So just because they say that you have the best invention doesn't really mean that you have the best invention. They're just doing it to appease the women.
Ooh,
that's definitely not true.
So
the reason I came out at the top is because my inventions have military applications for national security. So the reason that I came out on top is because of my skill set, my knowledge, and my expertise. So that's the reason. It has nothing to do with men, women, or whatever. Whoever had the best invention would make it to the top. That's just how it works.
Not in society today. They have lowered the standard for women and the blacks.
No, that's the standards are not lower, they're higher.
No, they're lower.
Black males are incarcerated at the highest rates for ridiculous crimes. So that means that they're being held to a higher standard than what white men are. So that's not true.
If they were not committed a crime, would they be locked up?
Most likely. There's plenty of men who have been on death row that are black, and they were put on death row improperly based on a system of racism, because American society is built on racism.
So let me go back to the military thing. Do you agree with me that since so many women are crying sexual abuse and brutality and stuff like that, do you agree with me that in universities and military and soccer and whatever, that women should not be allowed to play with men since they are always crying some type of abuse?
So again, what you're saying is inaccurate, because when women come forward to express the violence that they went through, that again is a result of homosocial bonding dynamics. It is men objectifying women. So if men stopped objectifying women and treated women as equals, these problems would not even exist. It's about boundaries and respect and consent.
How can you treat
it has nothing to do with gender.
How can you treat women as equal to men when they are not equal to men? God didn't make it that way. It's God over Christ, Christ over man, man
right, so you're
over
talking
woman.
about one religion,
no,
and you're talking about one ideology based on one book.
No, I'm not talking about religion.
Instead of what reality actually looks like, because women throughout history in a number of different factions have come out ahead of men. So you're making this about a gender dynamic between men and women. It's about capability, intelligence, and expertise. Doesn't matter where it comes from. It just matters who has it. Now, your genetics are your genetics. It is not binary that men's genetics are superior, and it's not binary that women's genetics are superior. It is a genetic lottery, and depending on your history, however your genetics come out, is how your genetics are superior. It is not these binary lines that a book from 3,000 years ago that was modified numerous times is saying.
Well, I'm not talking about religion. I'm just talking about reality. Do you believe that women are equal to men, right?
100%.
Then why are women always whining and complaining? Oh, I've been sexually abused. I was abused whenever, especially when they're losing.
I just want to explain that what you're saying is highly offensive.
This dude is a mess. Oh, this dude is a mess. And we lost Chris. Wow. Jesse Lee Peters is a wild dude. I honestly really think, like I said before, I think this dude is pulling the Andy Kaufman. I really think this dude is pulling the Andy Kaufman. That's all it is. I don't think this dude is running this shit. What do you think what this dude is saying?
Like this that that lack empathy and compassion that lead men to commit suicide after they go through.
Yo.
And then she said, like, men are actually, there are a lot of men who are being sexually assaulted in the military. I'm like, I never heard what you telling me that there's a bunch of men who are getting run up on like this is prison. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I've never heard this. Yes, I have heard of women being sexually assaulted in the military, but I have never heard no like
what do we got? Gang rape going? No, I mean, I've heard of women,
Marcus.
and I'm not saying that could not happen, but she's making it like there's rampant like male on male sexual assault in the military. I've never heard of this.
Marcus, he said, why women always complain about sexual assault when they losing. Yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, dude is a hot mess. I mean, that's why I'm like, I learned you cannot take this dude serious. You cannot. He literally did. He air quoted, like, yeah, you're getting sexually assaulted because you're losing. He's like, oh, he even said, like, she said men get sexually assaulted too in the military. He's like, yeah, but they don't complain about it. Oh man, it's not even the problem that men and women are getting sexually assaulted. He's like, but the men don't complain. They don't be whining about it. Wow. It's mind-boggling the shit that comes out of this dude's mouth. I'm like, he a cold piece. He a cold one. I'm like,
no, I'm stuck on the air quotes.
Well, shit. Somebody said it before. When he was like amazing, and it just like moved right past it.
Yo, Marcus, he said sexual abuse as if it like, oh, you're complaining about somebody stepping on your shoe, as if it was something like that. I mean, we're laughing because it's incredible, but we know the abuse is not funny at all. That's not what we're laughing
at. To him, hey, the problem is not the abuse. The problem is you complainers.
Yo, oh man, oof.
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, Ruby, that could possibly happen, but I'm telling you,
sexual violence because it creates shame.
Never heard
the same way that your dialogue is shaming women who've gone through sexual violence. The same thing happens with men when they come forward, but it's more stigmatizing. So it leads them to go commit suicide instead.
But they still don't whine. They don't go around whining about it. They deal with it. However way.
So you're saying that you believe that men should commit suicide instead when they go through sexual violence instead of confronting the power structure and the abuser. So what you're saying is you believe that people who do the abusing should get away with it. That makes no sense.
No, the only thing I'm saying right now is that I noticed that women whine about that kind of stuff, and yet they want to be in competition with men. And when they can't win, they start, oh, you abused me, you sexually harassed me. They start complaining.
So what it sounds like to me is that you have a lot of internalized misogyny and a lack of education on the actual social dynamics that occur that lead to sexual violence.
But a lot of women lie about that stuff. It's been proven that a lot of women lie about sexual abuse.
What research? Because the data says less than 4% of women
especially in
have made up less than 4%. That means 96% of women have been validated in telling the truth. So what you're saying
it's
again
easy
is
for
not
women
factual.
to lie.
So that is an internal bias that you have.
No, I see it all the time. When when married
couples, doesn't matter what you see. It's a matter of what the data and the statistics say. And
no,
it says
they
that
make up the data.
96% of women are telling the truth.
They don't. The data, you can't trust the data. But you know
right.
how
if you're trying to say you can't trust data, but you can trust a book from 3,000 years ago that's been modified over time to enslave people and indoctrinate them, that again is the same. It counters your own point that you're attempting to make.
But I have not mentioned a book at all. You mentioned a book, not me. But
you mentioned the Bible numerous times, and that
no, I haven't. I said the order of God.
That men are superior to women, which is a book that is a lie because Jesus Christ himself was a socialist who believed in equality and fought for women and minorities.
What the? Let me ask. So you say you
obviously you have not read the Aramaic Bible, which is the original Bible that Jesus himself grew up on.
You believe in God?
I'm an atheist.
Do you believe in God?
I just told you I'm an atheist.
Does that mean you don't?
The
I'm
book that
black and
Jesus
slow.
grew
Does
up
that mean
on.
you
I'm
don't
an
believe in
atheist.
God?
I don't believe in any gods.
Oh, okay. You said you were traumatized with this allegedly sexual abuse, right? But yet, according to your bio, you started an
He always makes sure to say
OnlyFans account.
allegedly.
You post naked pictures of yourself. And my question is, if you were sexually traumatized, why would you post naked pictures? First of all, is that true? It might not even be true. Did you post naked?
So yeah, no, we're gonna answer.
So if you were
there's a
sexually
difference
traumatized,
again.
why did you do that?
One, that trauma happened 17 years ago. Two, also, I'm past that trauma, and what I choose to do with my body is empowerment. So if I choose to do something consensually, that is different than being raped and being forced to do something I don't want to do. They're two vastly different things. So if I choose to empower myself to do something that I consent to, that I'm okay with, that's not sexual violence. That's an agreement between me and whatever men are involved, and it's a consensual action. So consent is the key. It's consent and boundaries. As long as that is respected, what do you think, that people who go through sexual violence never have sex in their lives? Like, that's ignorant to believe that.
How do you?
So the reality is, sexuality does not stop because you go through sexual violence, right? So what sexuality is about consent. It's about mutual respect and mutual understanding. So as long as boundaries are respected, you can do whatever you want with your body.
But how are you empowering yourself by showing your naked body? Because when the men see that, all they're thinking about, when men see that, all they're thinking about having sex with you. They can care less about you or anything.
But like, here's the thing.
They just want
what
the
you're
sex. So
saying,
how are
though,
you?
is like you're
how are you
acting
empowering
as if I
yourself?
care.
How are you empowering
But
yourself?
you're acting as if I care what men think.
But how
I
are
do
you
not care what the
empowering
men think who
yourself?
are buying my photos. If they're buying my photos and they're respecting my boundaries, I do not care what they think.
But
So
how is
for
that
me,
empowering?
it's called money. Money is empowering,
Money
right?
is not
So what
power.
I'm saying is, it is.
No.
It is, because that's how I paid for my invention. So it is empowering.
But that's not power, though. It's just a tool
It
we
is
use
power.
on Earth to pay for something. That's just it.
It is power. I'm on the trajectory to become one of the most powerful women in American history. It's definitely power.
There's no way
you may not like it. You may not agree with it. But again, I could care less.
But to think of yourself as being a powerful woman is a false idea. It's a false thought. It's not real.
No, it's not.
It's
just
an
that your thoughts
illusion
are
in your imagination.
misogynistic.
It's just
So
an illusion.
you think that I would make less of myself because you're a misogynist. Like, again, the same way I could care less what other men think of me, I could care less what you think of me. Like, it means nothing to me.
I know, but what you don't understand is to think of yourself as a powerful woman is just a false idea in your imagination only. It's an illusion.
That's definitely
It's
not true, because I'm
real.
on the trajectory. I'm on the trajectory. In the next 10 years, I will be one of the wealthiest women in the United States. I am on that trajectory.
But you still will be,
So,
it's still not going to make you powerful.
It is.
No.
It definitely is.
No.
Yes.
How?
Yes.
How?
That's
you
how
still
money
going to
works.
be angry.
That's how money works. When you have money, you have power. That's how that works. But that's we live in a capitalist society. So in case you forgot that, I'm here to.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. We could leave it on that note. Jesse's goal is to trigger her. That's what he's all about.
Yo, I mean, again, I'm not making light of it. It's just funny when she says, I was abused. There is a court case. There's documents that can support this. Every single time thereafter, he said, allegedly, allegedly, allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
He would not drop that allegedly. I want to find proof that she was 16 in the military. I want to find that, because can I believe she joined the military? Yes. Do I believe she might have been 17 and going into the military? Yeah, I do not believe she was 16 in the military. I do not believe that. I'm like, I need to see proof on that. I do know people who signed up 17 finished high school, went to the boot camp at like 17. I know I said you got to be 8. You can go to boot camp at like 17, but there's no way you're going out to the fleet at 16. No, there's no way I buy that.
Which one? Is it women or dictators?
Yeah, right here it says eligibility requirements. You must be 17 to 42 years of age.
They try to control the children. They try to control everything
Okay,
around
so
them
that healthy
because they're
relationships-
dictators.
Healthy women in healthy relationships believe in equality.
No such
right?
thing.
So the same way there's toxic men and toxic women. There's toxic people. People who are toxic want control and manipulation. That's different.
But that's how
and that
women
could be man
are.
or woman. That could be anybody who's toxic.
But
That's
all
just-
women are like
if
that.
you find that type of person, you should run away.
All women are.
No, but if you find that person, man or woman, just run. Just run the other way.
But all women are narcissists.
That's definitely not true.
So listen, I got to put you on the hot seat, all right?
I don't know where these ideologies are coming from, but they're not real.
But a narcissistic man has the nature of his mother, so that's why he's like that.
Oh,
It's
No,
not
a
normal.
narcissistic man has a chemical imbalance
It's not
in his brain and
normal
lacks
for men.
social skills.
It's not normal for men to be that way. It's an abnormal state of being
Right.
for men.
Narcissism is an
But it's-
abnormal state where there's a chemical deficiency in the brain that causes
But it's
somebody to lack
normal.
empathy and emotion.
It's abnormal for women to be that way. But listen, I got to put you on the hot seat. I need you to answer
It's
these.
abnormal for anybody to be a narcissist. Obviously, it's a mental health condition that needs to
No,
be
it's
treated by
not.
a doctor.
I
Yes,
need you to
that's what
answer these
narcissism
questions
is.
as
It's a clinical.
quickly.
It's a literal clinical disorder on the DSM-5.
I need you to answer these questions as quickly as possible. All right?
Okay.
The hot seat.
Is America the best country on this side of heaven?
It depends on what category you're talking about. Like, do I think as a blanket statement we're the best? No, I think we have a lot of improvement to do. But in terms of individual freedoms, I think we're one of the best countries when it comes to individual freedom.
If America is not the best, who is the best? Which country is the best?
Well, it depends. It depends on the category, but like Finland has a significantly better education system than we do, right?
Always run to
Or like
Finland.
Switzerland has a better economic situation for workers than we do. So it
Let's
depends
move
on
on.
what it is.
Do we need more white babies?
I think that we just need more babies in general. I mean, I could care less what race they are.
Do we need more white babies?
Again, like somebody's ethnicity is not important to me, right? We just need more humans.
The question is, do we need more white babies?
I'm answering your question, and what I'm telling you is, I do not care whether the baby is white, black, or brown. I think we should just have more children in the world.
But do we need more white babies?
Again, I just answered your question.
Is it wrong for a black man to love the Confederate flag?
I mean, that's a personal choice, right?
Is abortion worse than slavery?
No, slavery is definitely worse.
Who do you prefer, Taylor Swift or Rihanna?
Rihanna.
Does a bear shit in the woods?
I hope so.
True or false? Oh, I already asked that. Should we give the blacks reparations?
Yes, I think we should give anyone reparations that have been harmed.
Does a chicken have lips?
I mean, is that a real
What?
question?
Would you rather go on a date with Kanye West, Ben Shapiro, or Hillary Clinton?
Kanye.
You know what? I want to stay single. I don't want to go out with any of them.
Did Big Mama Michelle eat up all the ribs?
Who's going to eat the ribs?
Big Mama Michelle Obama.
Oh, I mean, I want to meet her though.
Before she eat up all the ribs?
Yeah, I mean, I hope she shares them.
True or false, sending your kids to a public school is child abuse?
No, that's not child abuse. That's just that's a normal system, not like a normal societal system.
Is it wrong or right to cut off boys' body parts and put girls' body parts on them, and girls' body part and put boys' body parts on them?
Well,
Is that wrong or
whatever.
right?
Look, as long as it's consensual and it's with someone's doctor, like whatever they do, I'm fine with. As long as you're not doing anything to me that I don't want done.
Is it wrong or right?
So what I'm telling you is it depends on the circumstance, right? If you're doing something to somebody that they don't want done to themselves, that's wrong. But if somebody wants something done to their body,
Yes,
then
free
it's their
thinker,
choice.
for the
I'm not
humor. We're
interfering
laughing
with
at
that.
them. Both.
You're not answering the question.
I did answer.
I
I'm
asked, is it
telling you that like it's
wrong
not
or
a
right?
monolithic.
The choice
Look,
is wrong or right. That's what I'm asking
no, put
you.
it this way: like if you're circumcising little boys who
Marcus, he doesn't even say wrong. He said, "Are you raw or right?"
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what disability, who went and got this abused, mentally slow. And I don't know where they got Jesse from. I think he said he was raised in Mississippi, which if any of y'all from Mississippi, I understand and feel your embarrassment of this product of your state. Yeah, I realize, because I used to get triggered by Jesse. I used to get offended by some of the stuff that he said, but I realized you cannot take this person serious. Like I said, at this point now, I'm starting to think like he is the Black Andy Kaufman. That's exactly what he is. He is here running a skit, and the whole thing is for him to get people who don't realize what he's doing. His goal is to get you riled up, get you aggravated, so you can be like, can you believe what this idiot just said? And then show more of his content. That's completely what I think he's doing. Do chicken have lips? Come on. Did he really ask that as a serious question? I mean, honestly, Streets, I honestly think actually, it's not even necessarily what I think. I'm trying to remember, what was his name? Somebody who wrote a book not that long ago, and he made the argument that Black people should return to the South and just like take over some area.
Marcus,
We're gonna, yeah.
He said you raw or right?
Oh, I know but didn't he? But he already told you. He said, "I just a dumb Black. I'm not that smart."
To that, I think that's wrong, right? But if someone's a grown adult and they are transgender and they want surgery, like they could go talk to their doctor and do what they want with their doctor. I think that that's fine. What I'm saying is we should not do things to people or touch people's bodies if they do not want that and do not consent to that. But if they consent to it, what is the difference with a woman getting boob implants? Like what I'm saying is what people do with their body is their choice, as long as they consent to it.
True or false? The civil rights movement was the worst thing that ever happened to the Blacks, even worse than slavery. True or false?
False.
Amazing.
I think slavery is worse.
Did you have fun?
Yeah, that was definitely interesting. Super interesting.
Thank you so much.
I definitely never had an interview like this one.
Yeah, he's definitely missing some chromosomes, I think.
Hamza, that was entertaining. That was actually pretty funny. I didn't.
I told you.
Yeah.
Oh, he got some other ones where it get real crazy real fast. She held it together a little bit better than I've seen. I've seen him make people storm off.
Of course, you wasting my time with these non-intellectual questions, bro. Like, leave me alone. Fuck you talking about? Imagine I tell somebody imagine I admit to you hey, I was abused sexually, and then you turn around and come and be like, well, you're alleged.
You're alleged. Yeah. Oh, this one right here, which Hamza's talking about, the gay pastor one. Oh man, he had that dude hot. He had that dude hot as fish grease. I'm telling you.
Oh, that reminds me of the one video from Africa where the guy was asking.
Oh, well, Oboy was like, "Why are you gay?"
Yeah, why are you gay? You are gay. Oh man, yo, Marcus, we had 3 hours. I ain't got nothing left. That was good. It's about 1:12 here right now. Yeah, that got
Yeah,
me,
I still
man.
agree to this, Thomas. I stand on this. I don't know if y'all remember when I did that one video showing about all those guys who came out that claimed that he tried to he was that Jesse's actually a predator. So, and they dang, what he's a groomer. That's what he is. He's more like a groomer. He does try to groom, men into doing things. I think he don't really need to do that. He could just go hang out with Diddy and TD Jakes, and he probably get all he need over there.
The whole point of that episode was for people to find her OnlyFans because somebody just said he checked the website, can't find anything about inventions or whatever it was that she claimed to have made. Her claim to fame is that she be on OnlyFans doing, what they do on OnlyFans most times.
Dude, I found the only thing I found about her.
Ruby, I think he hates women if they're not super subservient. If they're not
Yo. I got something on her. I am a part-time, and this is, I guess, old. I am a part-time barometric screener at Health Facts. So I'm guessing what it is she worked for some kind of company, and she used that information to try to formulate this pathway or whatever. But I don't think I think most of the stuff she's made, because any of the stuff you look up, it's the company that she started. You find her Medium article, you find her interviews with Jesse on Jesse's page, you find her Instagram, but you do not find anything about these inventions she's talking about. You don't find anything. You find that stuff about her being a feminist, but that's it. Yes, he did, Hamza. Yes, he did. You didn't see the video? Tell me, Hamza, you didn't see the video. I don't buy the fact he got some women pregnant. I don't buy that.
Street said is what is OnlyFans. Atrez says, is the OnlyFans good though? I don't know.
I know. He said, "Oh, what is it?" Like he doesn't know what that is. Oh, I got it.
No, we don't want to see an Only Grand site. No.
Only Grands.
No. I don't want to see videos of dentures flying. No, I'm good.
Hey, but hey, there's a market for everything out there these days. Hey, remember the lady that was selling her own farts? Hey, there's a market for everything out there. It is. I mean, I know this guy. He's supposed to be like a holy roller. And for those who don't know what a holy roller is, like the people who are like real, like super religious and holier than thou. Well, anyway, old boy's supposed religious page, majority of his top videos are talking about feet and his foot fetish. Now, there's nothing wrong with if you got a foot fetish, but if this is supposed to be a religious page, why you keep talking about foot fetishes and how men should act and behave with foot fetish stuff?
They're weirdos, bro, because they're weirdos. They're repressed. They are SPs, truly repressed. That's it. They don't get enough. They almost like incels, but not quite.
There's a girl selling her. Ooh.
Oh, that's disgusting.
But that's again, what I said. There's a market
But
for
then
everything out there.
But again, if you talk to women and you get into certain conversations and you ask them about some of the crazy shit they heard of or experienced, many of them will tell you that a lot of men don't care if it's a red light. To them, that's go still.
Yo, it's
Red
a
means
reason.
stop.
It's a reason to
I'll
the
wait.
term Red Wings.
I'll wait. Don't worry. I'll catch you in 5 or 6 days. It's okay. I could wait.
It's the reason why there's a term Red Wings. Like back in the day, it used to be like, "Oh, you got your yellow wings?" I was like, "Yellow wings? What are you talking about?" And then his friend piped in, "You know, I got my yellow wings and my brown wings." And then another one piped in, "I got yellow wings, brown wings, and red wings."
Oh no, that's no. Mm.
In the military, I'll just tell you, in the military, you learn a lot. It's some nasty, nasty people in the military.
Mm. That shit is
Nasty
nasty.
people in the military. Like
That's
like perfect. Like I don't even know if I should tell y'all this one. I don't know if I should even tell y'all about this one. Now,
No, don't tell us no more.
I'm gonna give y'all one of the stories. Not the worst story, but I'm gonna give y'all just one story I know about. We was at a party, and this one dude had a crush on the dude who owned the house. His party was his wife.
I hope not.
He had a crush on dude's wife. His wife was saying something about she liked it that he stays shaved. So this dude during the party goes to their bathroom and shaves his balls with old boy's razor and leaves it caked up with hair and all that.
Oh,
Just sitting there on the sink. That's what's up. It's some nasty people in the military. That's not even one of the nasty stories of it. Just nasty people in the military. I done seen people basically trade wives and all kind. I'm all right. That's enough. I won't go any deeper.
that's bad.
I'll just let you know. I've seen some nasty stuff in the military. Some nasty people. On the ship you hang your bag off of the end of your rack. And so, like, you get, when you're changing clothes, you go get a shower or whatever, you throw your dirty clothes in your ditty bag, and you zip your ditty bag, and you throw it in the laundry bin, and they come and collect them all, and they wash them in like these giant machines. I've seen a dude where he stole a pair of my dirty underwear. And how you know is you stencil all your clothes on the ship. I turn around and on the band on the underwear saw my name on this other dude. I know I just threw it in there. So I'm telling you, it's some nasty people in the military. He ain't have no underwear, so he decided he's gonna steal my dirty ones and wear them.
That's disgusting. Yeah, no, that's filth.
So they steal everything in the military too. So just letting you know.
Yeah, that's filth. Yeah, that's when you have. Oh, never mind. Anyway, shout out to everybody on Rockfin. Shout out to everybody on the usual YouTube and the Twitter. If you came through and checked us for 2 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 hours, as usual, we really and truly appreciate it. Please, before you leave, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you should feel like it. If you aren't, feel free to share the video. You could clip it, you could chop it down, tell them what, minutes, they should want to watch are, etc. Maybe one day we'll get around to having timestamps, but, we don't have them yet. But anyway, again, I enjoyed myself. I was glad to be back after missing last week. I try not to miss. I don't miss a whole lot, but I try not to. I like doing this. Marcus, you've effectively killed my Saturday night plans.
I don't know. Maybe one day we might switch the show to Sunday or something. That way you can get back to your Saturday nights.
Like my Saturday night, you turn me into a vampire. If I go out Saturday nights, I'm gonna be out late. So
you a night rider at that point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but
You
you know,
you like the old school Equalizer. Remember, you used to ride around the middle of the night.
yeah. But you know, sometimes you get into some fun. You know what I'm saying? You find some after hours
Oh
spots,
yeah,
and you know,
shout out to Steve. I'm sorry we didn't hop back over to the Rock thing, but Steve hopped in the building.
oh, Steve, what's up, man? So,
And,
but
you
nah,
know,
that was good. We had some laughs. You know, we cover serious shit, but we also, you know, we do have personalities. We do like to laugh. We do have a lot of jokes. Uh, you know, we could talk about all of the serious things and depress ourselves all the time, but we do that Monday through Friday, especially if you have a job, right? So
mhm.
it's a Saturday night. Sometimes we should have a little bit of fun, despite the things that are happening in the world. We all care. We all have raised awareness about it. But you know, on a Saturday night like tonight, there's nothing you could do to help those people other than bring awareness, which you know we have. But we have our lives to live too, and we should not only envelope ourselves in negativity and despair. You have to. You got to smile. You got to show your teeth sometimes, and you know you got to rub your stomach when you laugh. You know what I mean? Except for whenever you're talking about alleged sexual assault.
That's gonna be the new thing. Everything is alleged now.
Yeah. But so on my end, thank you everybody for coming through. Marcus, take
And
us home.
also anybody from now on take a book out of Jesse Lee Peterson's book, and whenever somebody says something like disturbing, just say amazing.
Yeah, I know, right?
But much appreciation to all y'all. Thank y'all for all swinging through. I don't know. Well, you guys know with Hebrew Apologetics, if I have a stream, I have one, and it's last minute. So good luck to y'all if y'all catch it or not.
Yeah. Love,
I'm
peace,
thinking my
hair
next
grease.
one I might do it tomorrow on Rastafarian beliefs. Or I don't know, or it could be something else if I do it. We'll see. But that said, this has been a Political Matrix. I am one of your hosts, Marcus Young, Morpheus Cage, and here with my brother, Christopher Sy Olsen. Saying y'all be safe, take care of you and yours. Much love to everybody.